Chapter 1079. Hong Yi led Jiangchen forward, shuttling through the starry sky. The light around them overlapped, as if they were traveling in the long river of time. However, Hong Yi's expression was a little strange. From time to time, she would look at Jiang Chun as if she had something to say. I know that, after going to the great wide world, we should keep a low profile. Jiang Chun nodded. The great wide world was hostile to the creatures of the ancestral realm. If Jiang Chen's identity was exposed, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, Hong Yi shook her head and said softly, "That cough. I don't know the exact location of the great wide world. I can only rely on the aura I left in the ancestral realm to find it." Huh. At this moment, Jiang Chun was a little dumbfounded. You've been flying with me for so long, but it turns out that you've been running around blindly? The universe is so big. Are you sure it's okay for you to take me blindly? Hong Yi was an emperor and had the flower of the path. She could absorb the power of heaven and earth wherever she was. Even if she drifted in the starry sky for countless eras, she would not die. However, Jiangchen was different. His current cultivation was really not high, so he could not absorb power in the starry sky at all. If Jiangchen did not enter the great wide world within a period of time, he might starve to death in the starry sky. I say, can you be more reliable? Jiangchen's face darkened, and he said, "Aren't you afraid that I'll starve to death in the starry sky? So, I have to think of a way." Hong Yi frowned and looked around, but the scenery was similar. In the starry sky, apart from the stars, there was only darkness. It was impossible to tell the direction. Moreover, in the starry sky, looking at the stars in the distance, it always felt the same. This gave Hong Yi a headache. To be honest, if I didn't bring you along, I might have reached the ancestral realm by now, Hong Yi muttered. You mean? I'm holding you back. Jiang Chun smiled bitterly. You can understand it that way. Hong Yi nodded. As soon as she said that, Jiang Chun felt uncomfortable. Can you blame me for this? By the way, you can take me to the ancestral realm. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up. He really wanted to see the so-called real home. However, Hong Yi shook her head and said in a low voice, "The ancestral realm has been sealed, and it has been cursed. Even emperors like us have to be careful when we go there, afraid that we'll be infected by the curse. With your level of cultivation, if you go, you'll just be throwing away your life. You probably won't even need to enter the ancestral realm. Outside the ancestral realm, you'll be corroded by the curse and die instantly." With that, Hong Yi stopped and frowned. She stared at Jiang Chun with a serious expression and asked, "Do we just need to send you into the great wide world? No matter which world it is?" "Best if it's the Southern Star region," Jiang Chun said. Nian Chang'e left first. Before he left, he told Jiang Chun that if he went to the great wide world, he should go to the Southern Star area to find him. However, Red Coat shook his head, indicating that it was very difficult. The great wide world was too vast. Hong Yi had only been to the ancestral realm. As for the other places, she had only heard of them and did not know the exact coordinates. She thought for a moment and said, "I'll send you into the great wide world first. When the time comes, you'll find a way to go to the Southern Star region." "All right, let's go to the great wide world first." Jiang Chen nodded. Then, Hong Yi formed a seal with her hands and was constructing a space-time tunnel. With the Emperor's law and order, she forcefully broke open the void and stabilized it. This kind of tunnel was enough to teleport a living being to a few star regions, or even a dozen star regions. However, at this moment, Jiang Chun was a little flustered. Hong Yi did not know the direction at all. Where did this space-time tunnel lead to? She did not want to send him to a place where there was no one. At that time, there would be no one to help him. "I'll send you to a world not far from the ancestral realm. I haven't been there before, but that place should be quite barren, and there aren't many strong people there." Hong Yi said, "As long as you don't expose your identity, that place should be quite safe for you. That's the best." Jiang Chen nodded. Then, the space-time tunnel was established. Hong Yi sent Jiang Chen into it and formed a seal with her hands to send Jiang Chen out. At the moment when the space-time tunnel was closed, Jiang Chen turned around and saw a familiar emotion in Hong Yi's eyes. Has she changed, or is she lying to me? Jiang Chun was stunned for a moment. In a trance, he had an illusion that Hong Yi had not changed. However, it was too late to say anything now. Jiang Chun was sent into the space-time tunnel. Light flashed around him as if he was traveling in the river of time, flying toward the great wide world. At this moment, after Jiang Chun left, Hong Yi frowned slightly. She touched her chest with one hand and whispered, "Still can't forget him." As soon as she finished speaking, Hong Yi disappeared from the place. 10 days later, in the great wide world, on a planet with life in the Eastern Star region. This planet was called the Carrier Dragon Planet, also known as the Carrier Dragon World. This world was located at the edge of the Eastern Star region, close to the boundless dark area of the universe. Generally speaking, this kind of place was considered very remote in the great wide world. There were not many cultivation resources, and very few people would come here. However, the Carrier Dragon World was different. According to legend, this world was an ancestral land of the Dragon Clan. It was just that it was abandoned, but there were still many living creatures and cultivators here. Moreover, there were rumors that the Carrier Dragon World hid the inheritance of the Dragon Clan, and its level was extremely high. As a result, many forces established their own branches in the Carrier Dragon World. Not only did they train their own disciples, but they also looked for the inheritance left behind by the Dragon Clan. With the arrival of various forces, the Carrier Dragon World naturally became more and more prosperous. It could be said that the Carrier Dragon World was the most prosperous world at the edge of the Eastern Star region. On this day, in the Carrier Dragon World, Tiansheng Mountain Range, today was the day of the Dragon Academy's enrollment. The Dragon Academy was established by the Dragon Clan. Every year, it would recruit disciples from various demon clans. This year was no exception. Moreover, many demon clans had come to register this year, and there was no lack of descendants of great demon clans. There were even some humans and other creatures who were thinking of ways to enter the Dragon Academy. Have you heard? The Dragon Academy seems to have found the inheritance left behind by the Dragon Clan. I heard about it too. That inheritance is extraordinary. It is said to be an ancestral dragon-level inheritance. Now, the disciples of various races are thinking of ways to enter the Dragon Academy. The Dragon Academy was located in the Tiansheng Mountain Range. At this moment, the entire mountain range was filled with creatures, and they were all discussing the enrollment of the Dragon Academy this time. There were even people who did not hesitate to pay a huge price to inject the Demon Clan's bloodline into their bodies, changing from human to Demon Clan. They did not hesitate to change their race just for the suspected ancestral dragon inheritance. Chapter 1080. The Dragon Carrier World had always been the territory of the dragon race. But there were also other creatures here, such as the human race and the elf race. And at this moment, the most lively place in the Dragon Carrier World was the Dragon Soaring Academy. Ancestral dragon inheritance. Even the dragon race itself is envious. Could the rumors be true? The Dragon Soaring Academy really obtained the ancestral dragon inheritance? At this moment, there were figures everywhere around the mountain range. There were humans, elves, and even demons. They were thinking of ways to enter the Dragon Soaring Academy, and some even spent a lot of money to get in through the back door. The Dragon Soaring Academy is an academy established by the dragon race. It only recruits disciples from the demon race. Those from other races, please leave. At this moment, a red-haired man walked out from the mountain gate of the Dragon Soaring Academy. There were flames jumping around him, and there were wisps of reddish-gold light flickering in the depths of his pupils. Fire Dragon, the Dragon Soaring Academy's outer court great elder. It said that he's a fire dragon with an extremely pure bloodline. He also has a very high status in the entire dragon race. Exclamations came from all around, and there were even people who cupped their hands and bowed to the fire dragon across the air to show their friendliness. Regarding this, the fire dragon was very calm. He didn't like the other races, especially the human race. There was even contempt in his eyes. One had to know that since ancient times, the dragon race was one of the most powerful races. And the human race, if not for a certain period of time, would probably still be the dragon race's food. Therefore, compared to the other races, the human race was really nothing in the eyes of the dragon race. Elder Fire Dragon, is this year's recruitment exam the same as before? Someone asked. To enter the Dragon Soaring Academy, your age must not exceed 10,000, and your cultivation must be at least a lower god. The Fire Dragon said. When these words came out, many people's expressions became strange. One had to know that ordinary cultivators, no matter how low their talent was, after cultivating for 1,000 or 10,000 years, their cultivation would be able to reach the god realm, right? This Dragon Soaring Academy's recruitment standards were a bit low no matter how one looked at it. However, someone soon realized what was going on. It was because the Dragon Soaring Academy only recruited demons, and demons generally had a very long lifespan, especially for some races. 1,000 or even 10,000 years old was still underage. For the demon clan, it was already very rare for them to reach the god realm before they reached adulthood. This is why the demon race is so powerful. Some shifters don't have to deliberately cultivate at all. When they reach a certain age, they will naturally become lords or even godly kings. This is the natural advantage of the shifters. At this moment, outside the Soaring Dragon Academy, a large group of demonic beast youths were lined up neatly. They had all reached the standard and could enter the Soaring Dragon Academy at any time. That's the Snake Clan, right? Like a python. Tisk TSK, that's the can't be Taudai, right? This place was very noisy. Many people saw demons that they had never seen before, especially when they saw a Taudai. Even the Fire Dragon was dumbfounded. Such demons were not weaker than the dragon race. It was to the extent that in the past, the Taudai clan was extremely powerful, and they fed on true dragons. As for now, the relationship between the two clans was much better, and the previous grudges had all disappeared. The Dragon Soaring Academy didn't mind accepting a disciple from the Taudai clan. Line up properly. After entering the academy, we will divide you into groups. The Fire Dragon said. There was no assessment ceremony, and it was enough to let this group of demonic beast youths enter the Soaring Dragon Academy one by one. However, when a white-haired youth walked past him, the Fire Dragon couldn't help but take a few more glances at him. This was because the Fire Dragon actually couldn't see what this white-haired youth's true form was. Is it a white dragon? Or a white tiger? The Fire Dragon frowned. On this white-haired youth, not only did he feel the aura of the dragon race, he also felt the aura of the tiger race. Could it be a hybrid breed? Phew! I finally got in at this moment. After this white-haired youth entered the Soaring Dragon Academy, he couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. He secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, he had the dragon vein and tiger soul in his body, as well as the 3 strands of chaos chi and the myriad transformation heavenly lamp as a cover. Otherwise, it would be really difficult to get in. That's right, this person was Jiang Chun. A few days ago, he was teleported to the Carrying Dragon world. After asking around, he found out that there was only one star field teleportation array in this world, and it was in the Soaring Dragon Academy. There was no other way. In order to hurry to the Southern Star Field, Jiang Chun could only sneak into the Soaring Dragon Academy. Brother Fire Dragon, I have a high-grade transformation grass here. It can allow young dragons to transform immediately. At this moment, a human male walked over and quietly stuffed a stalk of dark green grass into the Fire Dragon's hands. Hearing this, the Fire Dragon's expression was calm as he said softly, "And send one person in." "Thank you, Lord Fire Dragon." This human male was overjoyed. He knew that the dragon race valued the transformation grass very much, so he spent a large sum of money to buy one stalk. One had to know that the purer the bloodline of the dragon race, the harder it was for them to transform, especially the direct bloodline of the dragon race. Some of them had even lived for tens of thousands of years and still couldn't transform. They dragged their huge bodies around all day long and were really helpless. However, as long as there was a transformation grass, even a newborn dragon could transform immediately, solving the problem of inconvenience. Lord Fire Dragon, this is a dragon crystal. It can improve the physique of the dragon race and has a very powerful effect. I think Lord Fire Dragon should know about it, right? Not long after, a male elf walked over with a young female elf beside him. The fire dragon seemed to be an old hand. He took the dragon crystal without any change in expression, waved his hand, and reminded, "Don't mess around after entering. The rules inside are very strict." I know. Thank you, Lord Fire Dragon." The male elf hurriedly nodded, then said to the female elf beside him, "After entering, be obedient and put away your princess temper." "Got it." The female elf nodded, but the craftiness in her eyes was hard to hide. After that, many more people came to give him gifts. Some of them were even brazen enough to give him gifts. Regarding this, the fire dragon didn't reject anyone. He accepted those that should be accepted and accepted those that shouldn't be accepted. This was because he, the fire dragon, had the final say in the outer court of the Dragon Soaring Academy. And the matter of recruiting students was also decided by the outer court. If only we could recruit students every year. The fire dragon sighed. Every time he recruited students, he would reap a great harvest. And regarding the fire dragon's actions, everyone was already used to it. Even the inner court of the Dragon Soaring Academy, as well as those elders, had turned a blind eye to it. Because the fire dragon was sensible and knew how to present these things he received. Otherwise, how could he sit firmly in the position of the first elder of the outer court? Follow me to the outer court hall. Half a day later, the recruitment ended. The fire dragon brought a group of demons and a few backdoor students to the outer court hall of the Dragon Soaring Academy. Chapter 1081. The Dragon Soaring Academy had been established for a long time and had always been one of the top academies in the dragon-carrying world. Since the establishment of the Dragon Soaring Academy, it had nurtured many demon experts, including a few true dragons. After graduating from the academy, they had made a name for themselves in the outside world and had now become giants of a place. At this moment, everyone arrived in front of the main hall of the Dragon Soaring Academy. They lined up neatly in a very orderly manner. Jiang Chun did not dare to be presumptuous and was very obedient. After all, he was a creature of the 6 realms and not a demon. Now that he had sneaked in, he naturally had to keep a low profile. Moreover, after arriving here, Jiang Chun realized that he had to keep a low profile. This was because among the newly recruited disciples, the weakest was a god, and the strongest was a god. Moreover, the aura emitted by these creatures was extremely strong, far surpassing that of cultivators of the same realm. This gave Jiang Chun a new understanding of the boundless world. It seems that those people were right. The cultivators of the boundless world are very strong. In the 6 realms, all of them could be called geniuses. Jiang Chun thought to himself. At this moment, the fire dragon stood in front of everyone and pointed to the 3 tall buildings in front of the main hall, saying, "Now, you will be divided into classes. Those with pure bloodline and strong demon power will stay on the first floor, those with lesser demon power will stay on the second floor, and the rest will stay on the 3rd floor." As soon as he finished speaking, the fire dragon waved his hand, and a stone pillar appeared in front of everyone. The stone pillar was as tall as a person and was divided into 7 colors. At this moment, it was dim and lifeless, but it emitted wisps of obscure demon energy. This is a demon refining stone. Inject your energy into it. Those with a green color and above can enter the 1st floor. Those with a green color and above can stay on the 2nd floor. Those with a green color and below can stay on the 3rd floor. How are the colors divided? Someone asked. The colors of the rainbow. The fire dragon said, "Is there a need to ask such a simple thing? Has the intelligence of this generation of demons declined? F***CK. If you don't tell us, how would we know it's the colors of the rainbow?" Many demons muttered a few times, then stepped forward one by one and injected their energy into the demon refining stone. It had to be said that the new recruits this year were very strong. After a group of people went up, the light emitted by the demon refining stone was actually green, and a few of them were blue. As everyone knew, The rainbow had a total of 7 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Demons that could reach the blue color all had extremely pure bloodlines. Naturally, they would receive great nurturing from the Soaring Dragon Academy. Moreover, this time, they seemed to have come for the ancestral dragon's inheritance. Therefore, this batch of recruits had very pure bloodlines and incomparably strong demonic energy. Half an incense stick of time later, Jiang Chun began to feel a little guilty. This was because he had already tested more than 60 people, and all of them were above blue. There were even some purple demonic race bloodlines. What shocked Jiang Chun the most was that none of them were below cyan. It seems that this batch of students is very strong. The fire dragon was very pleased. He had taken in so many demon race disciples with pure bloodlines all at once. The upper echelons of the inner courtyard would definitely praise him. At that time, there would naturally be many benefits, and he might even be promoted into the inner court. You two don't need to take the test. You can stay on the 3rd floor. After another half an incense stick of time, all the new students were done with their tests. Only 3 people were left. Of these 3 people, one of them was Jiang Chun. He had been hiding at the back, not daring to take the test because he didn't have any demonic energy in his body. As for the other 2, one was from the human race, and the other was a girl from the elf race. These 2 people came in through the back door. Everyone saw their race. Wasn't it nonsense to let them take the test for the demon refining stone? Elder Fire Dragon, if we stay on the 3rd floor, the cultivation resources... The human youth frowned and asked, "Is it the same as staying on the 1st floor?" "Of course it's different," the fire dragon said snappily. "Being able to enter the Soaring Dragon Academy is already giving you enough face. You still want to stay on the 1st floor?" But the human youth opened his mouth, but didn't continue. He was furious. He had so many back doors, but in the end, he was arranged to stay on the 3rd floor. "Elder Fire Dragon, tell me the truth. How much money do I have to pay to stay on the 3rd floor?" At this moment, the girl from the elf race spoke. She was very direct. Hearing this, the fire dragon's eyes lit up. In front of everyone, he didn't hide anything and said directly, "Rare treasures and the like, at least 3 to 5 of them, right? 3 to 5 of them?" "Sure." The girl from the elf race nodded and took out 5 rare treasures. Among them, there were 3 bottles of pills, 1 stalk of spiritual grass, and 1 stalk of spiritual flower. The elf race is still the most reasonable one. The fire dragon smiled and directly handed a token to the girl from the elf race, saying, "Building number 1, Sky Room 1. It's yours from now on." "Thank you, Elder Fire Dragon." The girl from the elf race smiled, looking very happy. Seeing this, the human youth was stunned for a moment. Then he said, "Is 5 enough?" "Oh. Are you going to go in through the back door too?" The fire dragon asked directly, his eyes filled with anticipation. This made the other demons speechless. "Brother, you're blatantly accepting bribes. Can you keep a low profile?" "Hey, these 5 should be enough, right?" At this moment, the human youth also took out 5 rare treasures, 3 stalks of spiritual grass, and 2 bottles of pills. They were all top-quality items. "Not bad. This human kid is also sensible." The fire dragon laughed and accepted these items. Then he handed a token to the human youth, saying, "Building number 1, Sky Room 2. It's yours from now on." "Elder Fire Dragon, this isn't appropriate, right?" "That's right. They aren't demons, but they gave them the best rooms. As demons, many people were dissatisfied. One had to know that these 3 buildings had spirit-gathering arrays used for cultivation, as well as all kinds of auxiliary arrays. The arrays in building number 1 were the strongest. Moreover, the arrays in Sky Room 1 and Sky Room 2 were said to be set up by the Emperor himself. Those 2 rooms were equivalent to a holy land for cultivation. But now it was taken away by someone from another race just like that. And it was a public bribe. This wasn't appropriate, right? You really don't know how to behave." The fire dragon said, "I'm sure your elders know the rules here. If you took out the treasures earlier, these 2 rooms would have been yours, right? But now it's gone." The fire dragon joked. Hearing this, the group of demons' faces darkened. If they knew that 5 rare treasures would allow them to stay in Sky Room 1, they would have taken it out long ago. All right, there's one more room. You can stay in it with 30 rare treasures. The fire dragon seemed to have thought of something and directly stated the price. What? 30? Why don't you just rob? 30 rare treasures, not 30 cabbages. Chapter 1082. Heavenly treasures were a general term for some treasures, such as pills, spirit herbs, spirit flowers, etc. And ordinary things couldn't be considered as heavenly treasures. The boundless world was vast and rich in resources, but to let some juniors take out 30 heavenly treasures at once, this was not a small matter to them. Moreover, the people who took the test this time could all enter the first building, so naturally, no one would be willing to spend another 30 heavenly treasures to stay in the so-called highest grade room. However, at this moment, Jiang Chen's heart was blooming with joy. He had no demonic power in his body, so once he took the test, he would definitely be exposed. At that time, whether or not he could continue to stay in Dragon Soaring Academy was a small matter. Whether or not his identity would be exposed was a big matter. However, once he had a backup plan, then he wouldn't even need to take the test, and he could even stay in the highest grade room. This was a good thing for Jiang Chun. Fire Dragon Elder, are these 30 heavenly treasures enough? At this moment, Jiang Chun walked over, and with a wave of his hand, 30 heavenly treasures were placed in front of the fire dragon. There was a large pile of spirit pills and dragon herbs, as well as some appendices, and a pile of treasures piled up together. Divine light sword in all kinds of colors. Ha! This cough, little friend from your clan, you're really sensible. The fire dragon laughed very happily. After all, he didn't expect that there would be such a nouveau riche in this batch of students. He thought that the highest grade room wouldn't be rented out, but he didn't expect at this moment. The fire dragon kept sizing up Jiang Chun, and the smile on his face became brighter and brighter. The more he looked, the happier he was. This kid, I can't see his true form, so he must be a descendant of some big demon clan. His identity is not ordinary. The fire dragon thought, his heart burning. One had to know that the dragon clan's desire for treasures far surpassed that of other demon clans. And as the #1 elder of Dragon Soaring Academy's outer court, the fire dragon's desire for treasures was even more unimaginable to ordinary people. At this moment, he was pondering how to get on the list of this nouveau riche. This is the token for the room on the top floor. You will be staying there from now on. The fire dragon handed a token to Jiang Chun and said with a smile, everyone who lives on the top floor has some special privileges. You will know in the future. Thank you, Fire Dragon Elder, Jiang Chun muttered as he received the medallion. He thought to himself that this trip to the Great Thousand Realms was pretty good. At the very least, there were no accidents. Then, everyone went into their rooms and waited for the next day's class. Since the Soaring Dragon Academy was an academy, its main purpose was naturally to teach students about cultivation. And the strongest aspect of the Soaring Dragon Academy was their body refining technique. One had to know that the Dragon Clan's physical body was one of the best among the entire Demon Clan. The Dragon Clan had a unique way of cultivating their physical body. These Demon Clan disciples entered the Soaring Dragon Academy not only for the ancestral dragon's inheritance, but also to temper their bodies. I have to think of a way to create an identity for myself. Otherwise, I'll be exposed sooner or later. After entering the room on the top floor, Jiang Chun sat cross-legged on the bed and frowned. He was not a Demon Clan member, and it was even more impossible for him to inject the Demon Clan's bloodline into his body and transform from a human into a Demon Clan member. However, it was too difficult to make everyone think that he was a Demon Clan member. One had to know that the Demon Clan was very sensitive to aura. Jiang Chun could fool them for a while, but he couldn't fool them forever. If only the 3 great virtuous beings were here. With their status, even if I'm a human, I'll be able to stay in the Dragon Soaring Academy safely. Jiang Chun sighed. He suddenly missed the 3 great virtuous beings. Demon Clan brat, open the door. I have something to discuss with you. At this moment, a woman's voice came from outside the door. Her tone was rather arrogant, giving people a feeling of unruliness. Without waiting for Jiang Chun to open the door, the elf clan girl directly pushed the door open and entered. When she saw Jiang Chun, her slender ears couldn't help but twitch. She raised her eyebrows and said, "Give this room to me. How about it? Give it to you? Why?" Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. Were all the creatures in the great thousand world like this? I'm not used to living in those low-class places. It feels dirty. The elf clan girl frowned. She glanced at the environment of Jiang Chun's room and said, "This place is not bad. It's suitable for me to live in. This is my room. I spent 30 rare treasures to get it." Jiang Chun said in a deep voice, "Moreover, without my permission, you barged into my room. What do you want to do?" After saying that, Jiang Chun covered his chest with both hands and said with a shocked expression, "You can't be trying to snatch a man in broad daylight, right?" Hearing this, the elf clan girl was stunned for a moment. Her blue pupils contracted slightly, and then she said angrily, "What nonsense are you talking about?" "Oh, so you're not here to snatch me," Jiang Chun muttered, a trace of disappointment appearing in his eyes. This made the elf clan girl a little crazy. She really could not imagine what was going on in the mind of this demon in front of her. Of course, Jiang Chun was just teasing her. "I'm the little princess of the elf clan. If you please me now, I can protect you in the future." At this moment, returning to the main topic, the elf clan girl revealed her identity, and her expression became even more arrogant. This was because the identity of the little princess of the elf clan was not something that ordinary people could compare to. She was very confident that once she revealed her identity, Jiang Chun would definitely agree. Moreover, even if she did not reveal her identity, she believed that with her appearance, it was enough to subdue Jiang Chun. However, Jiang Chun had seen all kinds of beauties. Which of his disciples was not a peerless beauty? However, this elf girl was indeed very beautiful. That standard oval-shaped face, slim waist, and slender long legs made her the goddess of all men's dreams. However, Jiang Chun was not interested, especially the arrogant aura of this elf clan girl, which made Jiang Chun very disgusted. "What's the elf clan?" Jiang Chun said subconsciously, but halfway through, he could not continue. This was because he had not thought of an identity for himself. "What are you?" the elf clan girl asked curiously. "Don't tell me you're not an ordinary demon." "Of course. My race is no ordinary race. It's even above the dragon clan." Jiang Chun was also talking nonsense, but his face was full of righteousness. "Heh, above the dragon clan?" The elf clan girl curled her lips and said, "The dragon clan is the king of the demon clan. In this world, there are only demon clans that are on par with the dragon clan, but there are no demon clans that surpass the dragon clan." "You really know how to brag." Jiang Chun did not know much about the demon clans in the greater thousand world. When he heard this, he thought to himself, "Don't tell me I've been exposed." However, just as Jiang Chun was thinking hard about how to continue, the fire dragon suddenly appeared. "And, Lan Mingyue, what are you doing here?" The fire dragon frowned and shouted, "Get down. Don't come here if you have nothing to do." Chapter 1083. Compared to before, the fire dragon didn't give Lan Mingyue any face at all. It was as if he didn't care about Lan Mingyue anymore. Lan Mingyue didn't have any objections to this. She knew the fire dragon's character. It was already good enough that he let her enter the Dragon's Soaring Academy. Now, Lan Mingyue didn't have any requests. If she could live a little better here, that would naturally be the best. "Elder Fire Dragon, I'm just curious about what his true body is, so I came to take a look." Lan Mingyue blinked her eyes with a smile that wasn't a smile. She didn't doubt Jiang Chun's identity, but she was very curious. She felt that there was a special aura in Jiang Chun's body. That feeling was like facing a king, making people unconsciously want to submit and kneel down. Jiang Chun naturally didn't know about Lan Mingyue's feelings. After all, he was still worried about his identity being exposed. How could he have the mood to guess what Lan Mingyue was thinking? There are many demon clans. It's normal that some demon clans don't want to expose their true bodies. The fire dragon raised his eyebrows, and his voice gradually became cold. My demon clan has a rule. If someone doesn't want to expose their true body, then they can ask, "Do you think we're the same as your elf clan?" "What's wrong with my elf clan?" Lon Manuel was stunned and a little confused. A group of gorgeously dressed creatures. Sometimes, I can't even tell the gender of men and women, the fire dragon said. As soon as these words came out, Lon Manuel's face immediately darkened. If this wasn't the Dragon Soaring Academy, she really wanted to find a few people to teach the fire dragon a lesson. In the end, Lon Manuel left. She seemed to be very angry with the fire dragon. She even glared at Jiang Chun, as if she was attributing all of this to Jiang Chun. "Little brother, how should I address you?" At this moment, the fire dragon acted as if they were familiar with each other. He didn't put on any airs. Instead, he patted Jiang Chun's shoulder and called him brother. Jiang Chun was really flattered. He hurriedly said, "Jiang Chun, the great wide world was very big, and there were many living beings. There were many people with the same name. As for Jiang Chun, he only changed his appearance and was too lazy to change his name. Jiang Chun, born in the great rivers of the world, rising to the stars in all directions. What a good name!" The fire dragon praised. Jiang Chun was stunned for a moment. The fire dragon's attitude was a little off. Was he flattering him? However, the first elder of the Dragon Soaring Academy's outer courtyard needed to flatter a mere disciple like him? In any case, Jiang Chun didn't believe it. "May I know where little brother Jiang Chun was born?" The fire dragon asked again. As soon as he said this, Jiang Chun's expression was calm, but his heart was tense. He knew that the fire dragon most likely couldn't see through his real body. This time, he came to find out the truth. "I was born on a small planet in the Southern Star Field," Jiang Chun said humbly. "Oh, Southern Star Field? Surname Jiang?" Unexpectedly, after hearing this, the fire dragon's expression changed slightly. He frowned and stared at Jiang Chun for a long time. Jiang Chun's heart was tense. He was already thinking about how to escape if his identity was exposed. However, after 10 odd breaths, the fire dragon suddenly burst out laughing. It patted Jiang Chun's shoulder heavily and said, "That's why I couldn't see your true form. It turns out you're a descendant of the Jiangs of the Southern Constellation Zone." Jiang Chun was stunned. He had no idea what the fire dragon was talking about. However, at this moment, Jiang Chun felt that he only needed to remain silent. In the Southern Star Field, there's only one demon family with the surname Jiang. The fire dragon showed an "I understand" expression and smiled. "I know your family doesn't want to reveal your real body. I can understand. It's good that Elder Fire Dragon can understand." Jiang Chun didn't explain and didn't ask further. Instead, he went with the flow and went with the fire dragon's thoughts. After that, the fire dragon asked a few other unimportant questions. Finally, he gave Jiang Chun a token and said, "From tomorrow onwards, classes will begin. This is the token of the Sky class. With this token, you can attend classes in the Sky class." Is there anything special about the Sky class?" Jiang Chun took the token and asked curiously. "Sky class. Cough, cough. You'll know when you get there." The fire dragon's face suddenly turned red. Jiang Chun was stunned. "Please, I asked you what's so special about the Sky class. Why are you blushing?" "Cough, cough. Little brother Jiang Chun, in front of outsiders, you still call me elder, but in private, we are good brothers," the fire dragon said. When these words came out, Jiang Chun was a little confused. "What the hell are you doing? This is the second time we've met? How did we become brothers?" However, Jiang Chun also knew that the fire dragon's position in the Dragon Soaring Academy was not low. Especially in the outer court, he was definitely the leader. With such a great demon as a good brother, what was he waiting for? Just admit it. Brother Fire Dragon is too polite. Jiang Chun laughed, then frowned and almost scolded. Because after the fire dragon finished speaking, he stretched out a hand, put his index finger and thumb together, and rubbed it with all his might. The hell? Isn't this clearly asking for a reward? Jiang Chun cursed in his heart, but his face was still full of smiles. He hurriedly took out a few bottles of pills and said, "Brother Fire Dragon, this is to show my respect to you. Don't be polite. Hurry up and accept it. From now on, I still have to rely on you to protect me in the Dragon Soaring Academy." Hearing this, the fire dragon's mouth was about to split open from laughing. He put away these few bottles of pills, looked at Jiang Chun very seriously, and said seriously, "Brother Jiang Chun, don't worry. From now on, if there's anything in the outer court, let me know. I, the fire dragon, will definitely support you." With that, the fire dragon left with a satisfied face. However, before leaving, the fire dragon seemed to have thought of something and reminded, "In class tomorrow, pay attention to controlling yourself. Don't embarrass me." "Ah? Control myself?" Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. What was this fire dragon talking about? However, Jiang Chun was too lazy to bother about it. Now that he had the fire dragon's support, he was much safer in the Dragon Soaring Academy. Next, Jiang Chun only needed to enter the inner court. At that time, he would have the opportunity to come into contact with the Star Field Teleportation Array and enter the Southern Star Field to meet up with Nian Chang'e. "I wonder how they're doing now," Jiang Chun whispered. His heart was always worried about Jiang Lu and the rest. However, when he thought of the three great deities with them, Jiang Chun was much more relieved. Next, Jiang Chun sat quietly and began to cultivate. And so, until the next day, early the next morning, the morning bell rang. A group of new students walked out of Building Number 1 and came to the square in front of Building Number 1. The fire dragon had been waiting here for a long time. After taking attendance, he led this group of people to the outer court's classroom. Along the way, the fire dragon handed out tokens one by one and warned, "Look at the tokens in your hands. Don't go to the wrong class." Chapter 1084. Dragon Soaring Academy's rules were very strict, and everything had to be done according to the rules. And the rule of the outer court was the fire dragon. The outer court was different from the inner court. There were no other disciples here, only new students. The inner court also wouldn't interfere with the outer court's matters. In this way, everything in the outer court was decided by the fire dragon. At this moment, he distributed the tokens, and many people's faces immediately darkened. This was because most of the disciples had received a mare grade token. This meant that they could only go to the mare grade class to listen to lessons. Elder Fire Dragon, the mare grade class, what's the cultivation level of the instructor? Someone asked. "Your Eminence," the fire dragon said. The moment these words came out, the group was dumbfounded. What kind of joke was this? One had to know that among the new students this time, the lowest cultivation level was a god. You want someone of the same realm to teach them cultivation? What nonsense! What about the earth grade? Someone asked again. "Lord God," the fire dragon said. "What? Earth grade is only a Lord God. Most of us are sovereigns." The group was dissatisfied, thinking that Dragon Soaring Academy was only at this level. Wasn't this cheating them? "What's the cultivation level of the heaven grade instructor?" Someone asked again. "God Emperor," the fire dragon said. The moment these words came out, the group couldn't remain calm. Wasn't the difference between the heaven grade and earth grade too great? From a Lord God to a God Emperor in an instant. That? Instructor Fire Dragon, can you arrange for me to go to the heaven grade class? Someone asked. However, the fire dragon shook his head and said, "If you don't pay tuition, how can you enter the heaven grade class? Do you think the heaven grade class is specially open for you?" "Ah, you still need to pay tuition? What tuition? Rare treasures? How much do you need to pay?" Many people asked one after another. They didn't want to go to the mare grade class, nor did they want to go to the earth grade class. "Not much, 10 rare treasures," the fire dragon said. "If you can afford it, then go to the heaven grade class. If you can't, then go wherever you should go." How black-hearted! The outer court grand elder style. Does the inner court not care? What a scam! Many people were resentful, but for the sake of their own cultivation, some people still obediently handed over their treasures. As for these demon race youths, they all had some status. Naturally, it was not difficult for them to take out 10 rare treasures. But his heart ached. In the end, everyone paid their tuition fees and exchanged their tokens. Under the lead of the fire dragon, they arrived at the sky class. Rather than a class, it was more like a cultivation room. The cultivation room was on the left side of the main hall. It was very spacious and could accommodate all the new students. The fire dragon left after sending them here. However, he secretly transmitted his voice to Jiang Chun, telling him to control himself. This made Jiang Chun very depressed. Why did he have to control himself when he came here to teach? In the next moment, Jiang Chun suddenly understood why the fire dragon blushed when he mentioned the heaven class, and why this guy kept reminding him to control himself. It was all because the instructor of the heaven class was a nine-tailed fox. The fox race was naturally charming. Even if they did not do it deliberately, they still had a soul-stirring charm. Moreover, this nine-tailed fox was a female. Jiang Chun did not dare to look too much. He only glanced at her a few times, and his mind became unsteady. He almost lost himself. As for the others, some of them already had turbid eyes and unsteady minds. Their emotions had drifted to God knows where. Humph! Coquettish fox. Suddenly, Lan Mingyue's voice sounded in Jiang Chen's ears. Her voice was not loud, but everyone present was a cultivator and could hear her. Even the nine-tailed fox heard it, but she was not angry. She only glanced at Lan Mingyue with a faint smile. Perhaps, for a nine-tailed fox at the Emperor God level, the words of a little girl like Lan Mingyue could be completely ignored. From today onwards, I will be your instructor in the outer court. At this moment, the nine-tailed fox opened her mouth. Although her expression was very serious, she gave off an extremely charming feeling. Jiang Chun sighed with emotion. Nayland Mayer was charming enough, but compared to this nine-tailed fox, she really could not be compared. Every frown and smile of hers seemed to be able to steal one's mind. My name is Ling Huanin. You can call me Instructor Ling, Ling Huanin introduced. Her expression was serious, and there was not a trace of a smile on her face. However, none of the male compatriots present could hear Ling Huanin's voice at this moment. Their souls had been stolen, and they had already lost their minds. Why are the disciples of this batch so weak? Ling Huanin frowned slightly. With a wave of her hand, strands of pink light fell on everyone's bodies. In an instant, everyone woke up. Their faces were all red, and some even covered their crotches, looking very embarrassed. Ling Huanin seemed to be used to this. After a few light coughs, she pointed at Jiang Chun and said, "You little brats, you should all learn from him." Ah? Jiang Chun was struck dumb. How could such a thing happen to him? Instructor Ling, you can't blame us. Yeah, the nine-tailed fox clan is born like this. Our cultivation is not high enough, so how can we resist? Many people tried to explain, but as they spoke, their eyes started to turn cloudy again, and their minds started to wander. This made Ling Huanin very speechless. She secretly wondered how the fire dragon recruited students. Let's start the class. In the end, Ling Huanin was at her wit's end. She allowed those people to lose their minds and started the class on her own. At first, Jiang Chun thought that it would be very boring. After all, when it came to cultivation, just listening was useless. The most important thing was to comprehend, practice, and temper oneself. However, as he listened, Jiang Chun could not help but become excited. As everyone knows, all cultivators in the world belong to the Great Tao. The simplest way to measure a cultivator's strength is to look at their cultivation level. However, there are exceptions sometimes. Today, I'll talk about this exception. The simplest one is the strength of the physical body. Ling Huanin explained slowly. In fact, everyone knew what she said at the beginning. However, in the end, many people were shocked. According to Ling Huanin, the physical body was like a container. Not only did it contain the soul, but it also contained the essence, qi, spirit, and great Tao. In order to contain more essence, qi, spirit, and great Tao, one had to expand the container. In other words, one had to expand one's physical body. In the words of cultivators, this was body tempering. If one's physique was strong enough, they would be able to contain more great Tao energy. However, Ling Huanin told everyone that this was only the understanding of body tempering that most people had. The true meaning of body tempering was not only to strengthen the physical body, but also to improve the purity of one's essence, qi, and spirit. As the saying went, essence gave birth to life, qi gave birth to blood, and blood gave birth to the bones. Only when one's essence, qi, and spirit were improved could one's physical body be considered strong. Chapter 1085. Many cultivators knew what Ling Huanin was talking about, including how to temper one's body and how to improve one's essence, energy, and spirit. At this moment, Jiang Chen immediately lost interest. He thought that Ling Huanin would say something special, but he did not expect that she would say something so useless. However, Ling Huanin did not pay attention to anyone and continued to speak slowly. Improving one's essence, energy, and spirit is also a kind of body tempering. However, this kind of body tempering method is indeed too common. If every cultivator cultivates this way, it will naturally be very difficult to stand out and surpass others. Dragon Soaring Academy's body tempering method is unique compared to other body tempering methods in the world. At this point, Ling Huanin glanced at the group of disciples who had fainted because of her and could not help but smile bitterly. She was also helpless. This was how a nine-tailed fox was born. Fortunately, there were still a few people who remained conscious, such as the few women, Jiang Chun, and the human youth who had entered through the back door. "How much do you know about Dragon Soaring Academy?" Ling Huanin suddenly asked. As soon as she said this, Jiang Chun rolled his eyes. He had just arrived in the Great Thousand World, so how would he know about Dragon Soaring Academy? However, the human youth stood up and said, Dragon Soaring Academy was established by the dragon race. It is said that the first principal was a 5-clawed golden dragon with an extremely pure bloodline. And then? Ling Huanin asked again. It is said that the strongest cultivation method in Dragon Soaring Academy is the body tempering method. The human youth said, however, very few people can cultivate it. It is said that it is very painful and the requirements are very high. That's right. When Dragon Soaring Academy's body tempering method was established, it was targeted at the dragon race's physique. Ling Huanin said, however, after several generations of improvement, Dragon Soaring Academy's body tempering method can be cultivated by anyone. After saying this, Ling Huanin looked at the human youth and asked, do you want to cultivate it? As soon as she said this, the human youth immediately became excited. One must know that Dragon Soaring Academy's body tempering method was very famous in the Eastern Star region. Otherwise, who would come to such a remote place to build an academy? In the eyes of the world, body tempering is to cultivate one's essence, energy, and spirit, and to temper one's bones and meridians, Ling Huanin said. However, there is a saying that one must first strengthen one's appearance. The source of life for all living beings in the world comes from their souls. Only when the soul is strong can the body be nourished and become stronger. Ling Huanin said, the first step of the Soaring Dragon Academy's body refining technique is to refine the soul. Soul refining? Refining the soul before refining the body? Jiang Chen whispered. This was the first time he had heard of such a thing. This is the first layer of the Soaring Dragon Academy's body refining technique. Take it and cultivate it first. If there's anything you don't understand, feel free to look for me here. Ling Huanin handed the booklets to everyone and left. After all, when it came to cultivation, explanations were one thing. What was truly important was practice. Ling Huanin had already explained so much to them, and she had also imparted the cultivation method to them. The rest was up to Jiang Chun and the others. Following Ling Huanin's departure, the group of people regained their senses. Their faces were flushed with embarrassment. Some people even stood up, covered their crotches, hunched their bodies, and fled for their lives. Hey, do you think the Nine-Tailed Fox clan is prettier, or the Elf clan is prettier? Just as Jiang Chun was about to leave, Lan Mingyue suddenly came to his side and asked while blinking her beautiful blue eyes. It's all the same, just a bag of skin. Jiang Chen whispered. Stinky men are all like this, saying one thing and thinking another. Lan Mingyue curled her lips. It's just that you can't get it. That's why you say such things. You overestimate yourself. Jiang Chun squinted his eyes. Where did this girl from the elf clan get her confidence from? If it weren't for the fact that Bai Fengyu and the others weren't around, Jiang Chun really wanted to let her know what it meant to be stunning. Speaking of which, what is your true body? Lan Mengyue seemed to be quite interested in Jiang Chun. She followed behind Jiang Chun and walked toward the first building. Jiang Chun's expression turned serious when he heard this, and he said, "My name is Jiang Chun. I'm from the Southern Star Field, and I'm from the Demon Clan." After saying that, Jiang Chun quickened his pace and left Lan Mengyue behind him. Of course, Lan Mengyue didn't chase after him. It was because when she heard Jiang Chun's words, she was stunned on the spot, and her eyes flashed with horror. Southern Star Field, Demon Clan, surname Jiang. Lan Mengyue whispered. Her pupils constricted slightly as she said, "Could it be that Demon Clan?" When she came back to her senses, Jiang Chun had already disappeared from her sight. After a dozen breaths of time, on the top floor of the first building, Jiang Chun opened the booklet and was comprehending the body refining technique of Dragon Soaring Academy. This was the first layer of the body refining technique, and it wasn't very profound. Jiang Chun took a few glances and understood how to cultivate. According to the records of this technique, the first step of body refining was to refine the soul. The soul was the source of one's body. Only when the soul was strong could everything in one's body become strong. With one's own essence, energy, and spirit as a guide, nourish the soul. The soul gives birth to spiritual light, nourishes the body, and evolves the essence, energy, and spirit, and so on. Jiang Chun whispered. He was interested in the body refining technique. One must know that ordinary soul refining techniques either absorbed the world's origin energy or consumed some heavenly treasures. It was very rare to use one's own essence, energy, and spirit as a guide to nourish the soul. I can give it a try. Immediately, Jiang Chun began to cultivate according to the technique. Time slowly passed. The essence, energy, and spirit in Jiang Chun's body slowly turned into wisps of divine light and entered the soul world. However, these wisps of divine light were completely uncontrollable. After entering the soul world, they didn't fly towards the soul. Instead, they scattered in every corner of the soul world like stars. Not long after, these wisps of divine light formed by essence, energy, and spirit disappeared from the soul world. Uncontrollable. How do I nourish the souls? Jiang Chun frowned. After his consciousness came out of the soul world, his face suddenly became much paler. This was because he felt that his essence, energy, and spirit had decreased by a lot. His whole body became weak, and he even felt a little dizzy. I've only refined my soul once, and I haven't even succeeded, but I've already consumed so much essence, energy, and spirit. Jiang Chun was shocked. This body refining technique is too difficult. Most importantly, I haven't succeeded. Isn't this a waste of essence, energy, and spirit? Where did I go wrong? Jiang Chun frowned. After adjusting his breathing for a while, he began to cultivate again. However, this time, Jiang Chun still didn't succeed. The wisps of divine light, formed by essence, energy, and spirit were still uncontrollable. After floating in the soul world for a while, they disappeared. This gave Jiang Chun a headache. After thinking for a long time, he still couldn't figure out what to do. Helpless, he got up and walked out of the room, intending to ask Ling Huanin. Chapter 1086. After walking out of the room, Jiang Chun quickly arrived at the cultivation room. Ling Huanin had always been here. She was a teacher hired by the Dragon Soaring Academy to teach the outer court disciples. Therefore, she would not leave this place unless something special happened. At this moment, a charming smile appeared on Ling Huanin's face when she saw Jiang Chun. No, to be precise, this was not charming to her. It was just natural. However, Jiang Chun's heart was flustered. His body trembled as he thought to himself, this nine-tailed fox clan is really born to be charming. That? Taoist Ling, I would like to ask why I can't control my essence, energy, and spirit after entering the spiritual world. Is there something wrong? Jiang Chen lowered his head, not daring to look at Ling Huanin at all. No, when essence, energy, and spirit enter the spiritual world, it will be automatically absorbed by the soul, Ling Huanin said. She frowned and walked to Jiang Chen's side, saying, "Let me have a look." As soon as she said that, Jiang Chen hurriedly took a few steps back. How would he dare to let Ling Huanin see his soul? If she did, his identity would definitely be exposed. She might even find out that he came from the six realms. After all, the aura of the soul could not be changed. With Ling Huanin's cultivation, as long as she saw Jiang Chen's soul, she would be able to see the essence of Jiang Chen. Little guy, why are you so shy? I've lived for tens of thousands of years. I have no interest in a little guy like you, Ling Huanin said with a smile. To be honest, after so many years, this was the first time Ling Huanin had met a little cultivator who could remain calm and rational in front of her. Moreover, he could even be a little shy. One had to know that ordinary people, even those geniuses and cultivators in the same realm as her, would not be able to hide the burning desire in their eyes when they saw her. Taoist Ling, the elders in my clan have reminded me not to let anyone see my soul. Otherwise, my true form will be exposed, Jiang Chen said. My clan doesn't like to expose their true forms. Oh? Which clan are you from? Ling Huanin asked curiously. One had to know that generally, demons with status and power were eager to let others know what race they were from, so that they could show off. I come from the Southern Star region. My surname is Jiang, and my name is Chun, Jiang Chen said. However, Jiang Chen still didn't know the background of the Jiang clan in the Southern Star area. However, after trying it a few times, he felt that it was quite useful. Southern Star region? Surname Jiang? Demon race? Sure enough, when Ling Huanin heard this, her expression changed slightly, and a trace of fear appeared in her beautiful eyes. After a few breaths, Ling Huanin calmed herself down. She chuckled and said, "So that's how it is. He's a descendant of that demon. That's understandable." After saying those words, Ling Huanin shook her head as a bitter smile appeared on her face. "The problem lies in your soul, but you won't let me see your soul. This matter, I don't know how to solve it either. Then if I can't solve it, does that mean I can't cultivate the body refining technique of Dragon Soaring Academy?" Jiang Chen asked. He couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. Logically speaking, anyone can cultivate this technique. However, it's very difficult and requires a large amount of essence, energy, and spirit, Ling Huanin said. However, your situation is a little special. Your soul world can't absorb essence, energy, and spirit. After saying that, Ling Huanin moved closer to Jiang Chen. After sizing him up, she frowned and muttered, "Why? Why do I sense the aura of the Dragon Clan and the Tiger Clan on you? Oh, maybe it's because..." Jiang Chen stuttered. His brain was spinning rapidly as he tried to find an excuse. However, before Jiang Chen could explain, Ling Huanin's face suddenly turned pale. She stared at Jiang Chen, and the fear in her eyes became more and more intense. I was rude." Ling Huanin hurriedly took a few steps back, as if she was very afraid of Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was dumbfounded. "You're a god emperor. How can you be afraid of a little cultivator like me?" What Jiang Chen didn't know was that the Southern Star Field's Monster Jiang clan had an extremely powerful background. Even the Dragon Clan had to be wary of the Southern Star Field's Monster Jiang clan. Although the Nine-Tailed Fox clan was considered the king of the Monster clan, it was still far from being comparable to the Dragon Clan. Even the Dragon Clan had to be wary of the Jiang clan, so the Nine-Tailed Fox clan would have to be wary of it. How about this? You go and try to comprehend it. If you still can't do it, come and find me again, Ling Huanin said. There was actually a hint of trembling in her voice. This made Jiang Chen even more confused. He realized that the Southern Star Field's Monster Jiang clan had an extremely powerful background. All right, if I really can't do it, I'll come and find Taoist Master Ling, Jiang Chen said humbly. However, Ling Huanin was cursing in her heart. She knew what the Southern Star Field's Jiang clan was. At this moment, she was praying that Jiang Chen would never come and find her alone again. She was even wondering if she should change her job. At this moment, Jiang Chen's face was full of frustration. He thought that he could get the solution from Ling Huanin, but he didn't expect to get anything. Come out, brats! When Jiang Chen returned to building number 1, there were 5 or 6 Monster Clan youths standing there. One of them was yelling at the group of disciples in building number 1. There was even a hint of threat in his voice. Don't be nervous. This is how the new students are treated. Come out one by one. Each of you will get a rare treasure. Hurry up. Don't make us fight in building number 1. Seeing this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but have a strange expression. There are also students in the Greater Thousand World who collect protection fees. Originally, Jiang Chen didn't want to cause trouble, so he retreated and prepared to hide. But who would have thought that before he could walk very far, a young man with bull horns on his head would block his path? Brat, you still want to run? The young man raised his eyebrows and said mockingly, Can you run? What do you want? Jiang Chen asked weakly. He really didn't want to cause trouble. Moreover, the Monster Clan youths in front of him were very vigorous, and their auras were very strong. Their clothes were also very good. At first glance, he could tell that they were members of the Monster Clan. Jiang Chen had just entered Dragon Soaring Academy, so he didn't want to cause trouble. Simple, pay the protection fee. The young man with horns stretched out a hand and said, Hurry up, a rare treasure will do. All right. Jiang Chen nodded. Anyway, he was rich now. It was only a rare treasure. It was not a big deal at all. However, what Jiang Chen didn't expect was that when the other party saw Jiang Chen agree so readily, he actually changed his words and said, Others only need 1, but you want 10. No way? Do you think I'm a pig to be slaughtered? Jiang Chen's face darkened. He sized up the cultivation of these few Monster Clan youths. They were all in the King God realm. If they started a fight, Jiang Chen would be able to suppress them easily. Chapter 1087. Jiang Chen did not want to cause more trouble, but the bullhorned young man did not seem to want to let Jiang Chen go. Moreover, Jiang Chen had agreed too readily, which made the bullhorned young man think that Jiang Chen was rich and easy to bully. Of course, Jiang Chen was rich now. After all, he had made a lot of money from selling points. However, although he was rich, Jiang Chen's stingy character had not changed. I've changed my mind. At this moment, Jiang Chen's eyelids drooped slightly, and a cold light flashed in his pupils. He said, Now, I don't want to give you a single point. What are you talking about? The bullhorned young man's face suddenly turned cold. After sizing up Jiang Chen, he said contemptuously, What race are you? How dare you be so arrogant in front of my Raging Bull clan? Don't you know that my Raging Bull clan has a bad temper? Hand it over obediently. Otherwise, I'll break your leg today. Jiang Chen blinked his eyes and asked out of curiosity, Is the Raging Bull clan very strong? Of course. My Raging Bull clan has always been the 6th subsidiary race under the Kirin clan. Do you know what this means? The bullhorned young man said arrogantly. A subsidiary race? Jiang Chen was speechless. How could a subsidiary race be so arrogant? You probably don't know that I have 3 ancestor-level great demons under me. Coward, hurry up. He's just a freshman. Why are you wasting time with him? If you knock him over, just take his space ring. Not far away, several other demon clan youths urged. At the same time, many people came out of building number 1. Many people handed over their treasures obediently because they knew that the demon clan youths in front of them were senior brothers. They were all disciples of the inner yard. Perhaps the strength of these inner yard disciples was not as strong as some of the freshmen, but they were seniors and had big brothers behind them. Moreover, anyone who could enter the inner yard had some strength, and this group of freshmen did not want to cause trouble. You're asking me for protection fee? Scram back and ask your elders. Who in the demon race under the heavens dares to ask my Taotai clan for protection fees? Right at this moment, a Taotai directly revealed its true form amongst this group of new students. He stood proudly in building number 1 and bared his teeth. When he opened his mouth, a black hole seemed to appear. At this moment, the freshmen panicked. They indeed did not expect that there would actually be a Taotai among this batch of new students. That, little brother, You don't have to do it, the senior said hurriedly. He squeezed out a smile, but his back was drenched in cold sweat. At some point in time, the Taudai clan consumed dragons as food. Who would dare to provoke such a race? Besides, not only was the Taudai a master god, it had a bad temper too. If you really infuriated him, he might just swallow you whole in one gulp. Yo, there are also humans and elves. At this moment, the Taudai had returned to building number 1 and was standing by the window looking outside. As for the senior students, their eyes lit up as they looked at Lan Mengyue and the human disciple who had entered through the back door. In the Demon Races Academy, it was a very rare thing to encounter creatures of other races, especially the elves, who were known as the most beautiful race among the 100 races, were very popular. Little girl, be happy for me. I'll take care of you in Dragon Soaring Academy from now on. The senior student in the lead teased. Why don't you be my Tao companion? I guarantee that you'll live a good life in Dragon Soaring Academy from now on. That? You guys should be concerned about that stupid bull first. Lan Mingyue's expression was strange. She pointed at the Blazing Bull Clan youth and said, he's in big trouble. And? What do you mean? It's just dealing with a new student. What kind of trouble can he cause? The senior students were somewhat puzzled. They could not see Jiang Chen's true form, but they could see Jiang Chen's cultivation. How could a mere god be a match for the Blazing Bull Clan youth? He's from the Southern Star Field, surnamed Jiang. Lan Mingyue said, you guys are really sinful. Of all people to provoke, you had to provoke him. So what if he's from the Southern Star Field? There are many people with the surname Jiang in the world. The senior student in the lead had a look of disdain at first, but as he spoke, his expression changed. It was because there was only one Jiang clan in the Southern Star Field, and that clan was an existence that even the dragon race had to be wary of. Kid, today I'll let you know why the flowers are so red. At this moment, without waiting for everyone to react, the youth of the Blazing Bull clan roared. His palm burned with raging flames, and with the great Tao law, it suppressed Jiang Chun. I'm giving you face, Jiang Chun said coldly. He raised his hand and punched out. The fist light was like a millstone. Not only did it shatter the opponent's palm print, it also sent him flying. Then, Jiang Chun took a step forward and ruthlessly stepped on the chest of the youth of the Blazing Bull clan. Fellow Taoist, wait, don't! At this moment, the senior students rushed over, looking nervous and trying to appease him. Fellow Taoist, it's all a misunderstanding. This rookie is in the wrong. Don't hurt him. We'll apologize on his behalf. The senior students hurriedly spoke, their faces full of fear. Seeing this, Jiang Chun mistakenly thought that they were intimidated by his strength. In order to not be disturbed in the future, Jiang Chun planned to intimidate them again. Boom! At this moment, the dragon meridian in Jiang Chun's body vibrated, and a dragon's roar was heard. Then, with a whistling sound, the shadow of a gray tiger showed up behind Jiang Chun. The dragon and tiger appeared together. Hey, are you scared? Jiang Chun thought to himself, squinting his eyes. What the F***CK is that? Yinglong? That looks like a tiger? At this moment, the surrounding people were dumbfounded. More of them were trembling. Not only were their eyes filled with fear, but they were also filled with shock and surprise. You've eaten Yinglong? You've eaten a tiger? After a few breaths, someone asked in a low voice, his face pale. As for the senior students, their legs were trembling, and they could barely stand. Oh my God! That demon from the Southern Star region is even more ruthless than a Taotai. He dares to eat anything. He dared to come to Dragon Soaring Academy after eating Yinglong. How ruthless! Lan Mingyue and the others were shocked. They thought to themselves that Jiang Chun was too audacious. At this moment, Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. He looked at the crowd and explained, I've never eaten a dragon or a tiger. Don't explain. The Jiang clan from the Southern Star region is like this. What? He's from the Jiang clan from the Southern Star region? Oh my God! I want to change rooms. I don't want to live in the same building as him. At this moment, A few timid people's faces turned pale. Their bodies were trembling, and their foreheads and backs were covered with cold sweat. Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. He stood there and thought to himself, "What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with the Jiang clan from the Southern Star region?" Chapter 1088. Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. He was confused. What was wrong with these people? "Fellow cultivator, let me go." Kainyo knelt on the ground. His body was trembling, and his forehead and back were covered in cold sweat, especially when he saw the dragon and tiger shadows behind Jiang Chun. His soul was trembling. That's too cruel. The Jiang clan of the Southern Star Zone deserves its reputation. Even the Dragon clan has to be wary of them, many people exclaimed. A few of them were so scared that their eyes turned white, and they almost fainted. Jiang Chun was still confused. He felt that this matter was going to get out of hand. He just unintentionally pretended to be the Jiang clan of the Southern Star Zone. He didn't expect that there was not only a Jiang clan in the Greater Thousand World, but it was also very powerful. If his identity was exposed and others knew that he was a fake, the consequences would be very serious. I have to find out more about the Jiang clan. I have to find out more about them, so that I don't give myself away. Jiang Chun thought to himself. Then, Jiang Chun ignored these people and said lightly, "Don't disturb me next time." Yes, there won't be a next time. We know we're wrong." These seniors were pale. After nodding and flattering him, they ran away. They really didn't dare to stay here. They were afraid that they would be swallowed by Jiang Chun. "Fellow cultivator, I'm from the Taotai clan. We're related to each other." Just as Jiang Chun entered the corridor of building number 1, the young man from the Taotai clan walked over. His face was full of smiles, revealing his deathly white teeth. He said, "According to the ancestors' words, our two races are considered close relatives." "Oh," Jiang Chun said softly, but he was extremely confused. He still didn't know what the Jiang clan of the Southern Star Zone was, and he couldn't just ask others directly. If he asked, he would be exposed on the spot. "I know that the Jiang clan is a little concerned about the appearance of their true forms, so they don't like to reveal their true forms." The Taotai youth smiled and said, "Don't worry, I understand. As long as you understand." Jiang Chun looked very calm and said, "If anything happens in the future, you can help me solve it. I don't want to fight, so as to avoid revealing my true form." Jiang Chun could tell that these people were all afraid of him. On the surface, this Taotai youth was trying to worm his way into being friends with him, but in reality, his eyes were filled with fear and dread. Of course, it was true that he wanted to please Jiang Chun. At this moment, when the Taotai youth heard this, he didn't even think about it and directly agreed. He even patted his chest and guaranteed, "Fellow Taoist, don't worry. As long as you say a name, I guarantee that he won't see the sun tomorrow." "Air, that's good." Jiang Chun spoke in a light voice, and he said in his heart, "Isn't the killing intent of this young man from the Taotai clan too heavy?" After that, Jiang Chun and the young man from the Taotai clan chatted for a while, and then returned to his room. After returning, Jiang Chun began to ponder about the body refining technique again. At the same time, the Dragon Soaring Academy was completely in an uproar. After the few seniors returned to the inner court, they immediately spread the news of what happened in the outer court. For a moment, even the disciples of the inner court and even the elders and teachers were alarmed. What? The Jiang clan? It can't be. Didn't that clan never leave the Southern Star Field? Why did they come to the Eastern Star Field this time? And they even entered the Dragon Soaring Academy established by the Dragon clan. Are they here to provoke us? The disciples of the inner court were all discussing this matter, and there were also some who wanted to see what Jiang Chun looked like and whether he was the same as the rumors said. As for the group of teachers and elders of the inner court, they specially held a meeting for Jiang Chun. In the end, the elders of the Dragon Soaring Academy decided to give special treatment to Jiang Chun. Give him whatever he wants, just don't provoke him. The Jiang clan, don't provoke them. This kind of clan is not to be trifled with. Moreover, The elders of the inner court directly ordered that the disciples of the inner court were not allowed to go to the outer court, especially not to the first building. I've heard of the Jiang clan, but I really don't know how strong the Jiang clan is. The Jiang clan is not considered a demon clan, but they were forcefully counted in. Their true form is simply exaggerated disgusting. For a moment, the inner court and the outer court were all discussing the Jiang clan. At the same time, the group of disciples who originally lived in the first building all chose to move out in just half a day. They were really scared and didn't want to stay with Jiang Chun. Who knows when they would be swallowed by Jiang Chun? Why is there no one? One day later, Jiang Chun was depressed. He still couldn't cultivate the body refining technique. After the essence, qi, and spirit entered the soul world, they couldn't be controlled and directly disappeared. Helpless, he planned to look for Ling Huanin again. However, when he walked out of his room, he found that the entire corridor was empty. Even the human youth in the second room was gone. They were all scared away by you. Lan Mingyue in the first room seemed to have sensed Jiang Chen's aura. At this moment, she opened the door and stared at Jiang Chun with a strange expression, asking, "That is the Jiang clan like you?" "Ah, like me? What about me?" Jiang Chun asked. "You even dare to eat Longhu?" "I heard that the Jiang clan dares to eat anything, but it seems that they don't eat humans," Lan Mingyue said, her eyes filled with curiosity and fear. Hearing this, Jiang Chun laughed mockingly, suddenly walked in front of Lan Mingyue, opened his mouth, and roared. "Ah!" Lan Mingyue was scared silly. She screamed, turned around, and ran into the room. As soon as the door was closed, cries could be heard. It can't be right." Jiang Chun was dumbfounded, thinking that the Jiang clan's fame was too great. "No, I have to figure out what the Jiang clan is." Jiang Chun whispered, then walked toward the cultivation room. However, when he arrived at the cultivation room, he saw Ling Huanin carrying a small bag, looking around like a thief. "Instructor Ling, are you going on a long trip?" Jiang Chun happened to see her and walked over with a smile. "Oh my God, how did I meet him? How unlucky. You won't eat me, right?" Ling Huanin's heart was in her throat. Ling Huanin thought that Jiang Chun might come to her again. Therefore, she thought for a long time and finally decided to leave Dragon Soaring Academy and quit her job. To her, being an instructor in Dragon Soaring Academy was not bad, but no matter how good it was, she still needed to be alive. That cough. I have reached a bottleneck in my cultivation recently, so I plan to go out and gain experience. At this moment, Ling Huanin coughed a few times and looked up at the sky with her charming eyes. She did not dare to look at Jiang Chun at all. "Instructor Ling, don't be in a hurry to go out and gain experience. There is a problem with my body refining technique," Jiang Chun said. "Why don't you go out and gain experience after I master this body refining technique?" Chapter 1089. Ling Huanin's heart suddenly trembled, and a trace of fear actually appeared in her charming eyes. "I've encountered some problems in my cultivation recently, and I just happened to encounter a bottleneck. I had no choice but to go out and train to find a way to break through," Ling Huanin said. "As for your cultivation problems, you can ask the Fire Dragon Elder." However, as soon as Ling Huanin finished speaking, the Fire Dragon's voice rang out. "I'm not feeling well today, so I won't interfere in the matters of the outer court for the time being." Moreover, the Fire Dragon also specifically reminded Ling Huanin not to leave the Dragon Soaring Academy. At this moment, Ling Huanin's face darkened. After hesitating for a while, her face darkened slightly. Then, she hugged her small bag and returned to the cultivation room. Jiang Chun followed her in with an obedient look on his face. However, Jiang Chun's appearance almost scared Ling Huanin to death. She knew some things about the Jiang clan, and she also knew that this clan looked like this when they ate. "Are you hungry?" Ling Huanin's forehead was covered in cold sweat as she asked tentatively. I'm not hungry." Jiang Chun was stunned. He touched his stomach and thought to himself that he had indeed not eaten for a long time. After the Heavenly Grandmaster ceremony, Jiang Chun had to eat from time to time. However, he had not eaten for a long time recently. Originally, he was not hungry, But after hearing Ling Huanin's words, Jiang Chen really did feel a little hungry. Rumble. As he spoke, Jiang Chen's stomach could not help but growl. At this moment, Ling Huanin's face turned green. "You're F*** king, saying you're not hungry? What's wrong with your stomach? You don't eat me." Ling Huanin was anxious and panicked. Although her cultivation was far above Jiang Chen's, all living beings in the world had an innate fear of the Jiang clan. She had even forgotten that she was a god emperor, and Jiang Chen was just a small cultivator. Fortunately, she reacted quickly. After coughing a few times to cover up her embarrassment, she couldn't help but ask, "Say it. What's the matter?" "My essence, energy, and spirit still can't be controlled after entering the soul world." Jiang Chen frowned and said, "Is there something wrong with my soul? Unless you let me take a look at your soul, I really don't know how to deal with it," Ling Huanin said. Hearing this, Jiang Chen frowned slightly and hesitated. After all, he was from the 6 realms. If his soul was exposed to Ling Huanin, his identity would most likely be exposed. However, Jiang Chen had also comprehended a little of this body refining method. He felt that it was very strange and unique and wanted to give it a try. Using the myriad transformations heavenly lamp and the chaotic qi should be able to conceal the aura of the soul's origin, Jiang Chen thought. Then Jiang Chen nodded and said, "I'll show it to you then." As soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Chen's body trembled, and his soul floated out of the soul world and landed on top of his head. A green lamp swayed leisurely, and 3 wisps of chaotic qi swirled around the soul like 3 flowers. It was very extraordinary. At this moment, Ling Huanin was staring at Jiang Chen's soul, and she was completely dumbfounded, especially when she saw the 3 wisps of chaotic qi. Ling Huanin's face turned pale. Thump! In the end, Ling Huanin, a god emperor, couldn't withstand the pressure in her heart and collapsed to the ground. In her beautiful eyes, it was as if there was nothing left for her to live for. "Instructor Ling, what's wrong?" Jiang Chen was shocked. He thought that something had happened to Ling Huanin, and he hurried forward to help her up. However, when Jiang Chen's hand touched Ling Huanin, her whole body trembled. Her eyes rolled back, and she fainted. "Ah, it can't be right. It seems like she fainted because of me." Jiang Chen was dumbfounded. "A god emperor like you fainted because of a little cultivator like me? This is not appropriate, right? Is the Jiang clan really that terrifying?" Jiang Chen frowned. "What kind of clan is this?" After a few breaths, just as Jiang Chen was puzzled, Ling Huanin woke up again. After all, she was a god emperor, and her resistance to pressure was relatively strong. However, when she woke up and saw Jiang Chen, who was so close to her, her eyes rolled back again, and she fainted again. "This? Forget it. I'll go to the sutra depository first and look for ancient books about the Jiang clan." Jiang Chen sighed. Judging from Ling Huanin's condition, she probably wouldn't be able to recover for a while. Jiang Chen had no choice but to walk out of the cultivation room. After asking around, he walked toward the sutra depository. Along the way, a group of monster youths avoided Jiang Chen as if they had seen a ghost when they saw him. "I say, am I that scary? It's not like I'll eat you," Jiang Chen muttered. As soon as he said that, many people trembled and ran away. Some people even cursed in their hearts. "Don't you have any idea whether you'll eat us or not?" Jiang Chen was very helpless and depressed. Half a day later, when he found ancient books about the Jiang clan in the sutra depository, he finally understood why these people were so afraid of him. The Jiang clan originated from the Chaos era. Its origin was very mysterious, and it was known by the world as an ominous thing. On the other hand, the Jiang clan had even caused a rain of blood a very long time ago. At that time, the Jiang clan went all out and swallowed the entire Northern Star region. It was also after that everyone in the vast thousand worlds knew about the Jiang clan. According to the ancient books, the Jiang clan was not actually a monster. However, they felt that they were a monster, so they were forcefully included in the monster race. This made many monsters feel very helpless, especially the top monster races such as the Dragon Clan. If they did not agree, they would be afraid. If they agreed, they would feel very obedient. What the F asterisk CK? The Jiang clan's true form looks like this. After a few breaths, Jiang Chun flipped to the last few pages of the ancient book. When he saw the Jiang clan's true form, he felt very uncomfortable. On the ancient book, there was a picture of a big meatball with tentacles all over its body. Above the meatball, there was a big blood-red eye full of blood vessels. Under the eye, there was a mouth with messy teeth that were very sharp and dripping with blood. At this moment, Jiang Chun understood why the Jiang clan did not like to reveal their true form. Damn it, wasn't it too scary? Their entire body was just a big meatball. Also, the tentacles surrounding the big meaty body were disgusting to look at. I have to live as a member of the Jiang clan in the future? Jiang Chen's face was very dark. He could not accept the Jiang clan's true form. On the last page of the ancient book, there was a line of records. It said that before the Jiang clan was integrated into the monster race, they were known as the Evil Eye clan. And the strongest person in this clan also had a very resounding name, Blood Eye Tyrant. Chapter 1090. After that incident, the Evil Eye clan had indeed repented and did not do anything bad in the past few years. However, their appearance and character were just like that. Even if they wanted to befriend others, others would not be willing to do so. As time passed, the Evil Eye clan began to hate their original appearance. They never revealed their true forms when they were outside. Moreover, they did not know when they began to smile, whether they were facing their enemies or their own people. Perhaps they had truly repented and wanted to befriend others. Now, the Evil Eye clan had changed their name to the Jiang clan. Many people had almost forgotten the name of the Evil Eye clan. However, anyone who knew about the Jiang clan knew how terrifying this clan was. Even now, this clan was not restricted by anyone. They could do whatever they wanted. However, they were much more low-key. Of course, even though they were low-key, they were still quite serious when it came to food. It was said that the current leader of the Jiang clan had once devoured an emperor-level true dragon. That swallowing had earned him a fearsome reputation. No way. If the Evil Eye clan finds out that I'm impersonating them, they'll eat me alive. Jiang Chen felt a chill in his heart. He felt that he should leave this place as soon as possible. He did not want to be found by the Evil Eye clan. If that happened, it would not be something that could be explained with a few simple words. I have to enter the inner yard as soon as possible, Jiang Chen whispered. After coming out of the suture depository, he had a smile on his face and looked very friendly. He had no choice. He had to learn from the Evil Eye clan. Otherwise, others would really find out. Soon, Jiang Chun returned to the cultivation room. As soon as he returned, he saw Ling Huanin curled up in a corner with a pale face. She looked up at the sky with a hopeless expression, especially when she saw Jiang Chun return. Ling Huanin almost screamed. Why are you back? Ling Huanin exclaimed. Her face was as white as a sheet, without a trace of blood. That? You saw my soul and then fainted. I haven't asked my soul what's wrong with it. Why can't it absorb my essence? Jiang Chen said with a smile. However, in Ling Huanin's eyes, this smile was like a smile before an execution. Amidst its charm, there was endless danger and terror. I can't teach you. Ling Huanin was on the verge of going crazy. Her voice was a little shrill as she said, You even swallowed the primal chaos energy. You are definitely not from the ordinary Jiang clan. I swallowed the chaos chi? Jiang Chun was stunned for a moment before he reacted. There were indeed 3 strands of chaos chi in his soul, but he didn't swallow it. It was attached to his soul. However, Jiang Chun did not know that the evil eyes had a special ability. Whatever they swallowed would turn into a shadow that would wrap around their souls. Ling Huanin was scared out of her wits. She had heard of the evil eyes devouring true dragons, phoenixes, and so on, but she had never heard of them devouring chaos. After all, not even the emperors were able to control the primal chaos chi. However, a young man from the Evil Eye clan was actually able to devour chaotic chi. How ridiculous was that? Of course, this was only Ling Huanin's opinion. She felt that Jiang Chun was not simple. It was very likely that he was one of the patriarchs of the evil eyes. Don't be scared. I won't eat you. Seeing that Ling Huanin was about to break down, Jiang Chun hurriedly promised, Don't worry. I definitely won't eat you. Really? Ling Huanin's eyes were filled with tears. It was as if she had forgotten that she was a god emperor, and the other party was merely a god. Can you tell me now why my soul isn't absorbing my essence, energy, and spirit? Jiang Chen asked in confusion. That's because there are too many things in your soul. Ling Huanin thought for a moment before saying, What did you eat? Apart from the primal chaos energy, there's also a lamp. You even ate a lamp? Air. I ate it by mistake, Jiang Chen explained. Then he asked, what should I do? Seal the things you swallowed and let your soul return to nature. That way, you'll be able to absorb their essence, energy, and spirit, Ling Huanin said. Hearing this, Jiang Chen nodded and thought to himself, this is easy to do. It's quite easy to seal the myriad transformation, heavenly lamp, and the primal chaos energy temporarily. Then, Jiang Chen thanked her and hurriedly left. He was in a hurry to cultivate his body refining technique. After Jiang Chen left, Ling Huanin hurriedly got up and grabbed her small backpack. She muttered, I have to get out of here as soon as possible. That guy even dared to swallow the primal chaos energy. Who knows when he'll swallow me? I can't be a teacher anymore. However, before she could finish packing, the fire dragon appeared. He looked at Ling Huanin with a serious expression and said, The inner court elders have unanimously decided that we should treat him well and not provoke him. What does that have to do with me? I don't want to be a teacher anymore. Ling Huanin's expression was very ugly. She glared at the fire dragon and said angrily, Can't you be more careful when you accept disciples? Look at what you've accepted. How dare you accept someone from the Jiang clan? This, I didn't know either. The fire dragon smiled bitterly. When he accepted Jiang Chun into the Dragon Soaring Academy, he did not know Jiang Chen's identity. After he found out, there was nothing he could do. He could not kick Jiang Chen out, could he? The inner court elders have discussed it and asked you to continue teaching him. The fire dragon said seriously, I heard it just now. He said that he won't eat you. Don't worry. Hearing this, Ling Huanin's beautiful eyes widened. She said coldly, How can you believe the words of the Jiang clan? That's because he's not hungry now. If he's hungry one day, a little nine-tailed fox like me won't even be enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. Then, Ling Huanin picked up her backpack and was about to leave. However, at this moment, the fire dragon's face darkened. He said coldly, If the Dragon Soaring Academy doesn't allow you to leave, you can't leave. What do you want? Ling Huanin's expression changed. She looked at the fire dragon with some fear and said, Are you trying to imprison me? How can this be considered as imprisonment? We're just asking you to teach him well. The fire dragon said, You know that there aren't many outer court instructors in the Dragon Soaring Academy. What if I don't want to teach him? Ling Huanin said coldly, You don't want to teach him? Then try and see if you can walk out of this door. The fire dragon raised his eyebrows and said, You're just a nine-tailed fox. What can you do? Do you want to challenge the Dragon Clan? Hearing this, Ling Huanin was terrified. Although the nine-tailed fox was a first-class demon, it was nothing in front of the Dragon Clan. Moreover, the Dragon Soaring Academy was built by the Dragon Clan. The elders here were all true dragons. Now, the inner court had spoken. If she, Ling Huanin, tried to force her way out, she probably wouldn't be able to walk out of this door. Don't worry. As long as you teach him well and calm his emotions, it'll be fine. The fire dragon said, When the time is right, we'll let him graduate and send him away. Chapter 1091. The Jiang clan was indeed very low-key in this era, and they did not do anything that angered both humans and gods. However, this did not mean that they would not do anything. If they were angered, there might be a great upheaval. Therefore, the Dragon Academy did not dare to provoke Jiang Chun. They could only treat him well, and then find a reason to let him graduate and send him out of the Dragon Academy. And during this period, they needed someone to keep Jiangchen in check. As to who would be responsible for Jiangchen's safety, there was an answer. One must know that the dragons of the Dragon Clan in the Dragon Clan were all fire dragons. The Fire Dragon Clan was naturally hot-tempered. Wasn't it nonsense to ask them to appease Jiangchen? Who knows? The two sides might end up fighting each other. Of course, with Jiangchen's current cultivation, it was naturally impossible for him to be a match for the Fire Dragon. However, the Fire Dragon was also worried. What if Jiangchen was killed? This Jiang clan was extremely protective of their own. In this way, in the entire Dragon Academy, there was only one person who could be entrusted with such an important task, and that was Ling Huanin. As a nine-tailed fox, you are naturally charming and gentle. You should be able to handle it, the Fire Dragon said. Ling Huanin's expression was very ugly. She was very sullen and even more wronged. Was it the Dragon Academy pushing her into a fire pit? What if she angered Jiangchen? Ling Huanin was sure that if she angered Jiangchen, the Dragon Academy would definitely stand on Jiangchen's side, because the Jiang clan was not to be trifled with. This is using my life to do things, Ling Huanin said coldly. You have to increase my salary. Don't worry about that. The Fire Dragon had long expected Ling Huanin to make such a request, and said happily, your salary will be tripled. As long as you send Jiangchen away, the Dragon Academy will definitely give you what they promised you. You can't go back on your words. When he graduates, you have to give me the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl. It belongs to my 9-tailed fox clan, Ling Huanin said solemnly. The 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl had always been the most precious treasure of the 9-tailed fox clan. It was said that the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl contained the secrets of the 9-tailed fox. It was related to the survival of the entire 9-tailed fox. However, due to an accident, the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl was stolen. The 9-tailed fox clan asked around and found out that the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl had been sold to this remote place. And as luck would have it, it was bought by the Dragon Clan. To snatch the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl from the hands of the dragon race was naturally unrealistic. After all, the dragon race was too strong. The only way was to negotiate with the Dragon Clan. Ling Huanin came to the Soaring Dragon Academy because of this heavy responsibility. Originally, she had come to an agreement with the Soaring Dragon Academy. She would be an instructor here for 100 years, and the Soaring Dragon Academy would return the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl to the 9-tailed fox clan. Now 90 years had passed, and the time would be up in another 10 years. Who would have thought that Jiangchen, such an evil star, would come? If the dragon tribe wanted to force Ling Huanin to stay, she wouldn't be able to escape either. Moreover, for the sake of the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl, Ling Huanin had no choice but to stay. If she really left with the temper of the dragon tribe, they would probably never return the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl to the 9-tailed fox clan. What bad luck! At this moment, the fire dragon had left. Ling Huanin lay on the ground with her back against the wall, looking as if she had nothing to live for. She felt that this was the darkest and most miserable period of her life. She couldn't even imagine how she would get along with Jiangchen from now on. No, for my life. Suddenly, Ling Huanin stood up. A hint of determination and cunning flashed across her charming eyes. She knew how to protect herself. Little ball, as long as I feed you, my life won't be in danger, Ling Huanin thought to herself. Then, she turned into a ray of light and disappeared. At the same time, on the top floor of building number 1. After Jiangchen returned, he continued to cultivate his body refining technique. According to Ling Huanin, all he needed to do was to seal the myriad heavenly lamp and the 3 strands of chaotic qi. However, when Jiangchen tried to seal the myriad heavenly lamp, the illusory figure of the lamp-bearer suddenly emitted waves of energy that almost shattered Jiangchen's soul. At the same time, the lamp-bearer's eyes opened. They were exceptionally clear, as if they were sentient. Jiangchen was frustrated. He thought to himself, what on earth is this lamp-bearer? Is this what the myriad heavenly lamp looks like after it's evolved? Or does this lamp bearer have a special background? Jiangchen still remembered that when the myriad heavenly lamp evolved, the lamp bearer made a sound when it first appeared. It seemed to be saying something like, "Return to the land of the dead." At that time, Jiangchen felt that there was something wrong with this lamp bearer. Now, Jiangchen was even more certain that this lamp bearer was not simple. Brother, do you really have sentience? Are you the myriad heavenly lamp's artifact spirit? Or are you a prehistoric big shot who lives in the myriad heavenly lamp? Well, if it's convenient, can you leave for a while? I'll be fine after I practice the body refining technique. At this moment, Jiangchen was trying to communicate with the lamp bearer. He didn't know what was wrong with him. He thought it was useless, but who would have thought that the lamp bearer would nod in front of Jiangchen? With this nod, Jiangchen's soul was so scared that it almost flew out of the spiritual world. "What the F asterisk CK?" Jiangchen screamed. He saw the lamp bearer disappear, as if it had turned into wisps of fire and entered the wick of the lamp. Then, the aura of the myriad heavenly lamp calmed down. After a few more breaths, a layer of dust appeared on the myriad heavenly lamp. Was it sealed? No. To be more precise, the myriad heavenly lamp sealed itself. What was going on? Jiangchen's face darkened. He felt that there was a big problem with his body. What kind of creature was the lantern bearer? Or was it something that was born after the myriad heavenly lamp evolved? If it was another creature, then this matter would be big. "It's not harmful to me for the time being," Jiangchen whispered. Even if the lamp bearer wanted to harm him, with Jiangchen's current strength, he couldn't do anything to the other party. After all, the lamp bearer could easily control the myriad heavenly lamp now. "This soul is really messed up," Jiangchen muttered. Then, Jiangchen looked at the 3 wisps of chaotic qi in his soul again. "Well, 3 brothers, I know you must have sentience. I want to seal you temporarily and allow me to practice the body refining technique. What do you think?" Jiangchen felt very humble. In the outside world, the Jiang clan was feared by everyone, but in his own spiritual world, he was just a little brother. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, as soon as Jiangchen finished speaking, the 3 wisps of chaotic qi turned into wisps of green smoke and fell into the depths of the spiritual world. At this moment, Jiangchen's mind exploded. "What the hell? All of you are spiritual? Why does my spiritual world feel like a zoo?" Chapter 1092. It was one thing for the lamp bearer to have consciousness. After all, the myriad transformation heavenly lamp was the first soul. It was acceptable for some strange things to happen after it advanced. However, the consciousness of these 3 wisps of chaotic aura was becoming clearer and clearer. Jiangchen knew some of the terrifying legends about the chaotic aura. He was also worried. What if these 3 wisps of chaotic aura mutated in the future? Sigh. In the end, Jiangchen sighed heavily and was too lazy to care about these troublesome matters. After all, at least these 3 wisps of chaotic aura and the lamp bearer were not harmful to him. Then, Jiangchen began to cultivate the body refining technique. After the myriad transformation, heavenly lamp and the 3 wisps of chaotic aura sealed themselves. The essence, energy, and spirit entered the soul world and were quickly absorbed by the soul. For a time, the soul bloomed with multicolored light, and every inch of it was flickering with divine light. As time passed, every inch of the soul seemed to have a god sitting cross-legged, chanting ancient and obscure scriptures. In just half an incense stick's time, Jiangchen felt that his soul had strengthened by a lot. Moreover, as his soul strengthened, the divine light and multicolored light emitted from his soul overflowed the soul world and entered his body. Qi. In an instant, his body seemed to be ignited with flames, and his entire body was burning like a furnace. The impurities in his body were burned, turning into wisps of black smoke that rose from his body. His essence, energy, and spirit were like herbs. At this moment, under the burning, it seemed to be turning into pills. It is so fragrant. After half a day, the fragrance of pills appeared in Jiang Chen's room. It was very refreshing and filled the entire first building. Lan Mingyuel lived on the lower floor of Jiang Chen's room, and at this moment, she also smelled the fragrance. At first, she felt that the smell was very unique and fragrant, and it even aroused her appetite. But not long after, her expression changed drastically as she realized that the person living above her was Jiang Chun. No way? He's roasting meat? Lan Mingyue's little face turned green. After letting out a strange cry, she ran away. However, the fragrance became stronger and stronger, and it even spread to the second building, and then to the third building. That guy is hungry. After Lan Mingyue ran out of building number 1, she looked flustered and her eyes were filled with fear. She even shouted at the top of her lungs. All of a sudden, the group of people thought that Jiang Chun was really hungry and was roasting food in his room. What is he eating? Quick, let's see if we're missing someone. The group of freshmen were scared silly. They even organized themselves and counted the number of people. The numbers are correct. He didn't eat the freshman. Then what is he eating? Why does it smell so good? For a moment, everyone was puzzled. This kind of fragrance was at least at the level of a divine beast, right? Oh, right. I remember now. He often goes to the cultivation room to look for Instructor Ling. Instructor Ling is a nine-tailed fox. He's naturally fragrant. Is he eating? At this moment, the group of people completely panicked. They all knew that Ling Huanin was a god-darch and a member of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan. Now, Jiang Chun had actually eaten a nine-tailed fox of the god-darch level. Then, wouldn't small cultivators and small demons like them be swallowed by him? Oh, I want to quit school. I can't take it anymore. It's too scary. Quit school. I don't want the ancestral dragon's inheritance anymore. My life is more important. On this day, half of the freshmen actually quit school just like that. The rest were also frightened. They didn't dare to close their eyes, and they didn't even dare to go near building number 1. Where's Ling Huanin? At the same time, the fire dragon also noticed the abnormality in building number 1. He hurriedly went to the cultivation room. When he didn't see Ling Huanin, his face darkened. He was a little flustered. If Jiang Chun really ate Ling Huanin, this matter would be blown out of proportion. Although the dragon race was not afraid of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan, they still had to give the Nine-Tailed Fox clan an explanation. What a headache! The fire dragon sighed and hurriedly ran to the inner courtyard. He felt that this matter needed to be discussed with the elders of the inner courtyard. He felt that Jiang Chun couldn't stay any longer. If he continued to stay and ate the Nine-Tailed Fox clan today, who knew when he would eat the fire dragon clan? Huh. Instructor Ling? Are you serious? Did I see wrongly? That's Instructor Ling, right? Half an hour later, many people were dumbfounded. They saw Ling Huanin enter building number 1 with bags of various sizes with their own eyes. No, could it be that he didn't eat Instructor Ling? Some people were puzzled. Soon, a group of people's hearts were about to break. This was because someone went to the fire dragon's residence to report this matter. Who would have thought that the fire dragon was not there? The freshmen are all here. Instructor Ling is also here. Only the fire dragon elder is missing. Oh my God! Wasn't he a little too bold? He really ate a dragon? For a moment, the entire outer courtyard was in an uproar. The remaining freshmen were completely flustered. They left without even completing the withdrawal procedures. What kind of joke was this? If he dared to eat the True Dragon clan, what else would he not dare to eat? Let me tell you, that's my brother. He's related to the Taotai clan. Those who haven't withdrawn from school, show me some respect when you see me in the future. Unlike the others, the young man from the Taotai clan was fearless. This was because the Taotai clan and the Jiang clan had always been on good terms. In fact, in a certain era, the two clans were even considered close relatives. Keep bragging. When he's hungry one day, he might eat you. Someone pulled a long face and stayed far away from the young man from the Taotai clan. This was because the Taotai clan had a bad reputation in the Greater Thousand world. There was even a period of time when the Taotai clan's reputation was worse than the Jiang clan's. Cultivator Jiang, what are you doing? Just as the outside world was panicking, Ling Huanin entered Jiang Chen's room. As soon as she entered, she saw that Jiang Chen's body was covered in flames like a furnace. At the same time, the fragrance of pills and meat wafted out of Jiang Chen's body. At this moment, Ling Huanin's face turned pale with fright. No way. The members of the Jiang clan will eat themselves when they're hungry? They're even roasting themselves? Ling Huanin was dumbfounded. She had seen ruthless people before, but she had never seen such ruthless people. They would even eat themselves. Instructor Ling? At this moment, Jiang Chun sensed her presence and stopped cultivating. When he opened his eyes, he saw the pale-faced Ling Huanin. Are you hungry? Ling Huanin couldn't even speak fluently, and she cursed her bad luck. Why did they send themselves to Jiang Chun when he was hungry? Walala, Jiang Chun was confused. As soon as he got up, many spiritual bodies fell off his body. Apparently, the body tempering technique was very powerful. In such a short time, Jiang Chun had taken off more than 100 spiritual bodies. However, spiritual bodies were covered in blood and bones. Now that so many spiritual bodies fell off Jiang Chen's body, Ling Huanin was completely flustered. You ate so many of them. Ling Huanin thought that these spiritual bodies were leftovers from Jiang Chen's meal. At this moment, her body trembled and she shook her head vigorously. My nine-tailed fox clan doesn't taste good. They really don't taste good. Don't come here. Chapter 1093. Ling Huanin was shocked again. As a god emperor, it was rare for her to be shocked continuously in a few days. Most importantly, he had completely forgotten that he was a god emperor, and his opponent was only a god realm cultivator. Mentor Ling, you've misunderstood. I was practicing the body tempering technique of the Soaring Dragon Academy, Jiang Chen explained, trying his best to put on a smile for fear of scaring Ling Huanin again. However, Ling Huanin's heart sank when she saw Jiang Chen smile. This was because everyone in the Jiang clan smiled like this when they were hungry. I brought food for you. Don't eat me. Ling Huanin said hurriedly as she poured out all the bags she had brought. In an instant, the room was filled with a fragrance that assailed the nostrils. Multicolored light shone, and divine light pervaded the air. On the ground, there were hundreds of divine fruits and herbs. There were even some meat and bones of beasts that had been cooked and smelled delicious. Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. He was definitely not hungry before, but now perhaps it was because he had shed a lot of spiritual bodies and had not eaten for a long time, but his stomach was growling. Your stomach is growling, and you're still not hungry? Fortunately, I'm smart, and I've prepared everything. Otherwise, I'm afraid I would have been the one to eat it. Ling Huanin praised herself for her cleverness. She picked up the divine fruit and fresh herbs and offered them to Jiang Chun with both hands. This? Mentor Ling, you've misunderstood. Jiang Chun wanted to explain that he did not want to eat anyone. However, before he could explain, Ling Huanin's body trembled, and the divine fruits and herbs fell to the ground. She had misunderstood again. She thought that these things were not to Jiang Chen's taste. Mentor Ling, I'm actually a vegetarian. Jiang Chun wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Was his image ruined just like that? In other people's eyes, he was someone who could eat anything and dare to eat anything, right? A vegetarian? Ling Huanin was stunned for a moment. Then, she squeezed out a smile and nodded hurriedly. Yes, you're a vegetarian. You can't eat meat. This? Jiang Chen frowned. He thought to himself, I can't explain it clearly, right? Thinking of this, Jiang Chen couldn't be bothered to continue explaining. He picked up the divine fruits and fresh herbs on the ground and ate them. However, he seemed to be really hungry this time. After eating the divine fruit and fresh grass, Jiang Chen ate the rest of the food. After he finished eating, Jiang Chen's face sank. Not only did the hunger not disappear, but it became even more serious. Is it because I haven't eaten for a long time? Jiang Chen thought to himself. Now that he thought about it, it was true that he hadn't eaten for a long time. Could it be that the hunger from before had been suppressed, and now that he had shed his spirit body, the hunger had erupted? Instructor Ling, do you have any more? I suddenly feel very hungry, Jiangchen muttered, but hurriedly explained, just eat something, I'm not picky. You're not a picky eater? Ling Huanin rolled her eyes. You're right. Everyone in the world knows that the Jiang clan isn't a picky eater. And now you're hungry, and I'm the only weak woman in this room. You're not a picky eater? Are you King trying to eat me? As the saying goes, when a person is forced into a corner, they can do anything. At this moment, Ling Huanin felt that she was being threatened, and she had to fight with her life. She didn't want to be eaten by Jiang Chun. Thinking of this, a fierce look flashed across Ling Huanin's eyes. But just as she was about to attack, the fire dragon rushed in. As soon as he came in, he saw Ling Huanin about to attack. The fire dragon was scared out of its wits. What are you doing? The fire dragon shouted angrily. It stood in front of Jiang Chun and looked directly at Ling Huanin. Are you rebelling? Ling Huanin felt wronged. Her charming eyes were full of grievances. She said weakly with tears in her eyes, He's hungry. If he's hungry, then find food for him. You still want to attack? If he really dies in your hands, how is your nine-tailed fox clan going to face the Jiang clan? Moreover, this is the Dragon Academy, which was built by the Dragon clan. How is the Dragon clan going to face the Jiang clan? The fire dragon was really angry. He felt lucky that he came in time. Otherwise, Jiang Chun would really be in danger. Fellow Jiang Chun, the Inner Academy elders have unanimously decided that your meals from now on will be covered by the Dragon Academy, the Fire Dragon Academy said. Then, it handed a spatial ring to Jiang Chun and said with a smile, Eat first. Let me know if it's not enough. Okay. Jiang Chun didn't know what to say. He never thought that the Jiang clan was so famous. As for Jiang Chun, he could use the Jiang clan to do whatever he wanted. But what if his identity was exposed one day? Would the Jiang clan hunt him down because of this? Who cares? At least I'm living a good life now. Jiang Chun thought to himself. For Jiang Chun, he had left his hometown. He didn't have anything to rely on. It would be best if he could live a good life. As for what would happen in the future, Jiang Chun couldn't be bothered to care about it. Then, Jiang Chun took out a large pile of food from the spatial ring and prepared to eat. However, when he took out the food, he felt unwell all over. What the hell are these? All kinds of cooked spirit beasts were not affected, and there were even 2 dragon legs. Jiang Chun even saw a vermilion bird's wing and a coon's tail. What the hell? Grilled chicken wings? Shark's fin? Forget about these. As the Dragon Clan, can you really take out dragon legs for me to eat? This isn't appropriate, right? Fellow Taoists, this is the leg of an alternative dragon. It's not considered part of the Dragon Clan. The Fire Dragon explained. As for the vermilion bird and Kuan Peng, we got them according to the rules. You can eat as much as you want. There won't be any trouble. Then, I won't hold back. Jiang Chun was really hungry. He grabbed the food and started eating, ignoring the strange expressions of the fire dragon and Ling Huanin. Half a day later, Jiang Chun patted his stomach and let out a long burp. He sighed and said, I'm finally full. I haven't eaten so well in a long time. As long as you're full, as long as you're full. The fire dragon felt a chill in its heart. It thought that even the Dragon Soaring Academy couldn't afford to feed such an appetite. On the other hand, Ling Huanin felt weak all over. She had a feeling that she might really be eaten by Jiang Chun one day. Boom! Suddenly, a thunderous sound came from outside. At the same time, rays of mystic light burst out from Jiang Chun's spine, and the faint roar of a true dragon could be heard. Oh, my dragon soul is going to evolve again. Jiang Chun was excited. He even sensed the aura of the heavenly tribulation. Then, Jiang Chun rushed out of the room and looked up at the sky. His face darkened when he saw the tribulation clouds. Wisps of red karmic fire dotted the pitch-black tribulation clouds, and there was also a guillotine made of lightning and karmic fire around it. Heavenly tribulation? Karmic fire guillotine? Jiang was dumbfounded. How could a dragon's soul evolve attract such heavenly tribulation? Chapter 1094. The karmic fire guillotine was also known as one of the three strongest heavenly punishments in the world. This kind of heavenly punishment was only aimed at those extremely evil cultivators that even the heavens couldn't tolerate. Since ancient times, the number of living beings who could survive under the karmic fire guillotine could be counted on one hand. After all, there were very few cultivators who could attract the karmic fire guillotine, let alone survive. At this moment, everyone in Dragon Soaring Academy saw this heavenly punishment. Many people directly fled, afraid of being implicated by the karmic fire guillotine. Some people were even dumbfounded, secretly wondering which guy in Dragon Soaring Academy was so evil that he actually attracted the karmic fire guillotine. It's him, Jiang Chun. That Jiang clans. That's normal. It's not strange at all that the Jiang clan attracted the karmic fire guillotine. After all, this clan really angers both man and God. Who knows what bad things he did? When everyone saw Jiang Chun under the karmic fire guillotine, they calmed down a lot, because everyone felt that this karmic fire guillotine was very compatible with Jiang Chun. That fellow Jiang Chun, can you go outside to face the heavenly punishment? This karmic fire guillotine's power is not small. I'm afraid my Dragon Soaring Academy's formation won't be able to block it. The fire dragon stood in the distance. He was also thinking, what kind of thing did Jiang Chun do that angered both man and God to attract such heavenly punishment? Could it be that he ate too much? Elder Fire Dragon, don't worry. I'll be back soon, Jiang Chun said. He didn't want to implicate Dragon Soaring Academy, so he went 1,000 miles away from the academy. Then, the lightning struck down, and the sky was filled with lightning. At the same time, many chains shot out of the guillotine, which was burning with karmic fire and lightning. They shackled Jiang Chun and imprisoned him under the guillotine. This kid is dead for sure. Good. Get rid of a big scourge. With this kid dead, Dragon Soaring Academy will be safe. Many people heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts, as if they were certain that Jiang Chun would not be able to survive the karmic flame guillotine. However, after merely a few breaths of time, everyone saw the shadow of a dragon fly out from Jiang Chun's body, and it directly smashed onto the karmic flame guillotine with a dragon roar. At the same time, 3 wisps of chaos chi burst out and protected Jiang Chun like 3 flowers converging above his head. In the end, some people vaguely saw an illusory figure holding a green lamp. It struck out horizontally and directly shattered the tribulation clouds of the karmic flame chopper. Everyone, thank you for your concern. I've succeeded in transcending the tribulation. A dozen breaths later, Jiang Chun returned. Seeing the group of people staring at him, he couldn't help but smile. Everyone, don't worry. We're not worried. Big brother, if you come back alive, we won't be at ease. What a monster. Even the karmic flame chopper couldn't do anything to him. Could it be that some old monster from the Jiang clan is pretending to be young and came to Dragon Soaring Academy to ask for the ancestral dragon's inheritance? The group of people didn't feel good in their hearts. More than that, they felt dejected and disappointed. They originally thought that Jiang Chun was dead for sure this time. They never thought that this karmic flame chopper actually couldn't even hurt a single hair on Jiang Chun's body. Most importantly, the aura that Jiang Chun emitted now was much stronger than before. Roar! Moreover, a dragon roar came out from Jiang Chun's body again. Everyone looked carefully. Behind Jiang Chun's spine, there seemed to be a 5-clawed azure dragon roaring. The azure dragon was a high-level dragon, and the 5-clawed azure dragon was the royal family of the dragon race. At this moment, even the fire dragon's face darkened. They all thought that Jiang Chun had eaten a 5-clawed azure dragon before. This is a cultivation technique. I've never eaten a 5-clawed azure dragon before. Jiang Chun knew that this group of people had misunderstood and hurriedly explained. However, this explanation, coupled with the reputation of the Jiang clan, was simply pale and powerless. The fire dragon rolled its eyes. It couldn't be bothered to listen to Jiang Qin's explanation. So, what if he ate it? There are so many dragons, it's okay to lose one. The fire dragon muttered. Anyway, he had already eaten it. How could he let others spit it out? What is that? What the F asterisk CK? Blessing? After a dozen breaths, everyone's eyes widened. This was because a mysterious light suddenly fell from above Jiang Qin's head. Divine light swirled in the air, and there were even runes of the great Tao condensing. A hole seemed to have appeared in the sky. Endless light fell like a pillar of light and blessed Jiang Qin's body. As time passed, the crowd's exclamations became louder and louder. Even Jiang Qin was dumbfounded. This was because after the dragon soul evolved from the winged dragon to the five-clawed azure dragon, his cultivation had also increased. Without any surprise, he had stepped into the realm of titled deity. At this time, he could either integrate the heaven-level title that he had previously obtained or wait for the heavens to bestow him a title. Jiang Qin had originally planned to return to his room and integrate the heaven-level title. But who would have thought that the heavens would bless him before he could integrate it? And what surprised Jiang Qin the most was that there was something wrong with the title that the heavens had blessed him with. Jiang Qin had seen the heaven-level title blessed by the heavens before. That scene paled in comparison to what he was experiencing now. What kind of title is this? Heaven level? It doesn't look like it. Why does it feel like it's stronger than the heaven-level title? Just as everyone was puzzled, the fire dragon widened its eyes and exclaimed, "A supreme title!" One had to know that some cultivators were extraordinary from the moment they became deities. The path they had walked and the Tao they had comprehended could be said to be extraordinary. Therefore, their Tao fruits were also far beyond ordinary people. And if such a cultivator broke through to become a titled deity, the heavens would bestow him a title with the power of his Tao fruits. That kind of title was above the heaven level. When matched with the Tao fruits, it was the supreme title. Since ancient times, there had been people with the supreme title, but very few people had witnessed it with their own eyes. And every cultivator with the supreme title would definitely become extraordinary in the future if they didn't die prematurely. Is the Jiang clan really so powerful? Their bloodline is so strong that they actually have a supreme Tao fruit among their descendants. A supreme title. This means that as long as he doesn't die prematurely, the Jiang clan will definitely have another extraordinaire in the future. Everyone was exclaiming, but Jiang Qin was very calm at this moment. He bathed in the divine light and received the blessing of the heavens. The runes of the great Tao were condensing and finally turned into a rune that was branded in his soul. At this moment, Jiang Qin had a feeling that he seemed to have gained something. It was very obscure, like a supreme great Tao. At the same time, that rune brand seemed to contain some kind of extremely terrifying power. Is this the theurgy hidden in the supreme venerable title? Jiang Qin said in a low voice. One had to know that all the earth-level titles and above, including the earth-level titles, would contain a magical power. And these magical powers varied in strength, but even the weakest was stronger than ordinary Tao skills. Now, Jiang Qin was a little excited and expectant. He wanted to see what the magical power contained in the supreme title was and how strong it was. Chapter 1095. The title of supremacy was extremely rare. It wasn't that it didn't exist, but it was too rare. Moreover, cultivators with the title of supremacy had a limitless future. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they could transcend and become a saint. At this moment, everyone in Dragon Soaring Academy was moved. They were amazed by Jiang Qin's Tao fruit and strength. But they were even more fearful of Jiang Qin's identity. A young man from the Jiang clan actually had the title of supremacy. What would happen in the future? Now, in the entire Dragon Soaring Academy, not many dared to provoke Jiang Qin. Even the higher-ups in the inner court had to be cautious and courteous to Jiang Qin. Now that Jiang Chun had the title of supremacy, who would dare to provoke him? If something happened to such a person, the entire Jiang clan would riot. Maybe my dragon clan can have a good chat with the Jiang clan. The fire dragon thought to himself. One had to know that in the boundless world, there were hundreds of clans and emperors, but there were only a few extraordinaires. And within the Jiang clan, there was one. Now a monster like Jiang Chen had appeared. In the future, the Jiang clan would have two extraordinaires. Looking at the entire boundless world, how many clans had such a foundation? Other than the numerous human clans, the number of other clans that had two extraordinaires could be counted with one hand. The world is changing. My dragon clan can't always stand at the top of the hundreds of clans. If I have time, I'll chat with this kid more and probe the Jiang clan's current situation. If the Jiang clan restrains themselves, then we can have a deeper relationship with the Jiang clan. A group of higher-ups in the inner court were also paying attention. At this moment, they gathered together to discuss Jiang Chen's matter. In the end, they decided that it was indeed time to have a good chat with the Jiang clan. It's over. He has the title of supremacy, and he's from the Jiang clan. This is too cruel. No, we must drop out. Compared to our own lives, the ancestral dragon's inheritance is nothing. At this moment, the group of new students were completely flustered. They hurriedly left and dropped out of the school in just a few breaths of time. Even the fire dragon didn't have the time to dissuade them. Only Jiang Chun, Lan Mingyue, the human youngster, and the youngster from the Taodai clan were left. As for the others, they left without even looking back. It was as if the Soaring Dragon Academy was a forbidden area hell. This isn't appropriate, right? The fire dragon's mouth was filled with bitterness. So many new students have left. Where should he get the benefits from? All the freshmen have left. As a teacher, there's no point for me to stay. I feel that I can leave too. Ling Huanin walked up to the fire dragon and asked with a charming smile, "What do you think, Elder Fire Dragon?" "As long as he's here, you can't leave." The fire dragon pointed at Jiang Chun, his face darkening. "You don't want the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl anymore?" When Ling Huanin heard about the 9-star Heavenly Moon Pearl, she secretly felt that she had been too careless. However, she was now very clear that if Jiang Chun really wanted to eat her, not to mention the Soaring Dragon Academy, even the Nine-Tailed Fox clan wouldn't care about her. After all, this was the Jiang clan that had the title of supremacy. As long as one wasn't a fool, one would be able to tell which was more important. This thing, how do I use it? At this moment, Jiang Chun had returned to his room and was comprehending the title imprint on his soul. He could feel that there was definitely a kind of divine ability in this imprint, but he had no idea how to comprehend it. This was because this supremacy title seemed to have a layer of seal. If one's cultivation wasn't high enough, they wouldn't be able to see the divine ability in the title imprint. This made Jiang Chun feel very helpless. He thought to himself that his cultivation was still too low. However, Jiang Chun wasn't in a hurry. With his current identity, he was the local tyrant of the Soaring Dragon Academy. He felt that as long as his identity wasn't exposed, even if he walked sideways in the Soaring Dragon Academy, the dean wouldn't dare to make things difficult for him. "This simple life is not bad," Jiang Chun said with a smile. He had never thought that his life would be so comfortable after coming to the Great Thousand World. Not only was he revered by people, but his dragon bloodline had also evolved, and he had even obtained the title of supremacy. Moreover, after his dragon bloodline had evolved, Jiang Chun could feel that his physical body was changing all the time. The speed at which his spiritual body was fading was getting faster and faster, and Jiang Chun had a feeling that he might be able to surpass the number of spiritual bodies of the ancestor of the sky-reaching school. Of course, Jiang Chun also knew that the founder of the sky-reaching school was actually the Demon Emperor, who was also the former Taoist Heavenly. Now that he thought about it, Jiang Chun still had some vague perception of the Demon Emperor. Every time he faced the Demon Emperor, he felt like he was facing a cloud of fog. Jiang Chun even suspected that the Demon Emperor's cultivation was not as simple as that of an emperor. "Boss, it's me, little Taodai." Right then, the voice of the Taotai youth came from outside the room. When Jiang Chen heard that, he frowned and said softly, "What's the matter?" "It's like this. I was worried that you were hungry, so I brought you some food," little Tout Eye said. He knocked on the door and asked, "Can I come in?" "Come in," Jiang Chen said softly. He did not have a good impression of this Tout Eye youth, but he did not have any bad feelings either. Following that, little Tout Eye walked in and directly fiddled with a huge pile of food in front of Jiang Chen. Naturally, there was no need to say much about the divine herbs and spirit fruits. They were piled up like a small mountain. As for the other meats, there was really a wide variety. Jiang Chen casually swept his gaze and saw the bodies of some top demons. For example, the dragon race, the phoenix race, and even rare races like the nine-colored deer. "You usually eat these?" Jiang Chen's heart was beating very fast, secretly thinking that this little Tout Ye's guts were really fat. This meal was also unbelievably good. Eating these things, if those races found out, how could the Tout Eye race stop them? "These are not pure-blooded," little Tout Eye explained. "Those higher-level races, the more important bloodlines are to their lives. As long as it's not pure-blooded, to those races, it's not considered their race." "Oh, this demon race is like that?" Jiang Chen was stunned. One had to know that this matter was not allowed in the human race. The human race would not deny that someone was not human because of bloodline issues. But thinking about it carefully, it made sense. Different races would definitely have different ideologies. "Boss, you're really awe-inspiring this time. There's no one in the entire Dragon Soaring Academy who doesn't know your name, Jiang Chen," little Tout Eye said, and gave Jiang Chen a thumbs up. Jiang Chen smiled embarrassedly. If possible, he also did not want to be so high-profile. However, sometimes it was not possible to keep a low profile, even if he wanted to. Strength did not allow it. "Oh, right, boss. Did you come to Dragon Soaring Academy also for the Ancestral Dragon's inheritance?" little Tout Eye suddenly asked. This sort of? Jiang Chen muttered. In reality, Jiang Chen was not interested in the Ancestral Dragon's inheritance at all. After all, as long as he wanted it, he could just ask Dragon Day to get it. Chapter 1096. Regarding some ancestral-level inheritances, Jiang Chen did not take them to heart at all. Those three great virtues, which one was not ancestral level. As long as Jiang Chen opened his mouth, there would be ancestral-level inheritances. It was just that Jiang Chen was not interested in those inheritances. He only wanted to properly cultivate the Heavenspan Sacred Canon and Tiger Soul skill. As for other cultivation method inheritances, learning without mastering, mastering without discomfort was useless. "Boss, with your strength and identity, as long as you open your mouth, this ancestral dragon inheritance, Dragon Soaring Academy will definitely give it to you," little Tout Eye said, eyes gleaming as he said, "Boss, if you obtain this ancestral dragon inheritance, I have something to discuss with you." "What's the matter?" Jiang Chen asked. Although he was really not interested in the ancestral dragon inheritance, Jiang Chen could not say it out loud. Otherwise, it would give people a strange feeling. "If you really obtain the ancestral dragon inheritance, I'm willing to use the Tout Eye clan supreme inheritance to exchange with you," little Tout Eye said seriously. As soon as these words came out, Jiang Chen could not help being stunned for a moment. He took a few more glances at little Tout Eye, secretly thinking that this kid could say such words. It proved that his status in the Tout Eye clan was not low. After all, ordinary Tout Eyes could not make this decision at all. "Wait until I get it first and we'll talk." Jiang Chen laughed and said, "The ancestral dragon inheritance, in the end, is still the dragon clan's own. They probably won't take it out and give it to other clans." "I'm saying what if? What if it's really given to you? Can you promise me?" little Tout Eye said, "Don't worry. My Tout Eye clan supreme inheritance is not weak either." However, Jiang Chen was really not interested in those inherited cultivation methods. "Master, ask him if he can use the Devouring Heaven skill to exchange for the ancestral dragon inheritance." Right at this moment, the undying bird Dao Hun suddenly opened its mouth, its words carrying a trace of excitement and anticipation. Devouring Heaven skill? What's that thing? Jiangchen asked. As the name suggests, it can devour everything. The Undying Bird explained. That's considered a Dao skill, the Taotai clan's strongest Dao skill. What do I want that for? Jiangchen asked in puzzlement. You have to take care of the three of us, right? How many heavenly treasures do we need? How many years do we need to cultivate the soul ascension demonic technique to help us reach the peak? However, as long as you have the devouring heavenly skill, the speed of our advancement will greatly increase. Most importantly, the heavenly devouring skill is capable of devouring primal chaos. The Phoenix explained. As soon as this was said, Jiang Chen's eyes suddenly lit up. Naturally, it would be best if the three Dao souls could advance. After all, Jiang Chen was looking forward to seeing what the three Dao souls would look like after they advanced to the peak. Of course, what Jiang Chen was most concerned about was that the devouring heaven skill could actually devour chaos. After all, Jiang Chen possessed 3 strands of chaotic qi. Although the 3 strands of chaotic qi were not harmful to him right now, and they could even help him when he needed them most, they were still extremely powerful. However, no one could tell what these 3 strands of chaotic qi would become in the future. Who knows when it would backfire on Jiang Chen? In that case, if he had the devouring heaven skill, Jiang Chen could at least be prepared. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen coughed a few times, looked at little Taotai, and asked, Actually, I don't really care about the inheritance of cultivation techniques, but I do like to collect Dao skills. Dao skills? My Taotai clan has them too. Little Taotai hurriedly said, What Dao skills do you want? If my Taotai clan doesn't have it, I can find a way to get it for you. That? Do you have the devouring heaven skill? Jiang Chen pretended to be confused and said, I'm very interested in that Dao skill. It said that it can devour primal chaos, so I want to study it. Oh? Devouring heaven skill? Little Taotai was stunned. Then it looked excited and slapped its thigh, saying, Boss, you found the right person. The devouring heaven skill is my Taotai clan's Dao skill. As long as you open your mouth, I'll give it to you with both hands. When Jiang Chen heard that, he could not help but be stunned and surprised. He did not expect little Taotai to agree just like that. Speaking of which, little Taotai, what is your identity? Is your position in the Taotai clan very high? You can make this kind of decision? Jiang Chen asked curiously. That? Boss, to tell you the truth, I'm the young master of the Taotai clan. Little Taotai scratched its head and looked very humble. But compared to you, I'm far inferior. So that's how it is? Jiang Chen was relieved. He was wondering why little Taotai had so much authority. It turned out that it was at the young master level. However, thinking about it carefully, Jiang Chen was a little puzzled. The young master of the Taotai clan came to this remote place from afar just for the ancestral dragon's inheritance? Was the ancestral dragon's inheritance really that powerful? Moreover, the ancestral dragon's inheritance originally belonged to the Dragon Clan. Since Dragon Soaring Academy obtained it, logically speaking, they would not hand it over. But this time, Dragon Soaring Academy directly announced to the public that they planned to hand over the ancestral dragon's inheritance to Dragon Soaring Academy's disciples. Connecting these things together, Jiang Chen felt that the ancestral dragon's inheritance this time was probably not ordinary. Little Taotai, I can help you think of a way to get the ancestral dragon's inheritance, but you're the young master of the Taotai clan. What do you want the ancestral dragon's inheritance for? Is the Taotai clan's inheritance weaker than the ancestral dragon's inheritance? Jiang Chen asked. The moment these words came out, little Taotai shook its head and said, My Taotai clan's inheritance has never been weaker than the Dragon Clan. Otherwise, my clan and the Dragon Clan can't be on equal footing. As it spoke, little Taotai paused for a moment, its face revealing a trace of a mysterious expression, and said, But the ancestral dragon's inheritance that Dragon Soaring Academy obtained this time. Do you know what kind of ancestral dragon it is? Oh, what ancestral dragon? Jiang Chen asked. Great might, great virtue. Holy ancestral dragon. Little Taudai seemed to be very excited and said, "This kind of ancestral dragon has long gone extinct. Not a single one has appeared in the future. And this kind of ancestral dragon's inheritance has a special characteristic, which is that it can cleanse the bloodline." Little Taudai explained, if it's a subdragon, after obtaining this ancestral dragon's inheritance, its bloodline can be purified until it turns into a real dragon. It can even make its bloodline pure and flawless, an upgrade to the ancestral dragon's bloodline. At this moment, Jiang Chun was already dumbfounded. After hearing the words, great might, great virtue, Jiang Chun was a little absent-minded. It was because that fellow, Long Dade, was not the great might, great virtue, holy ancestral dragon. The ancestral dragon's inheritance that Dragon Soaring Academy obtained was actually the same kind as Long Dade. This can't be so coincidental, Jiang Chun thought to himself, and could not help but ask, "Are you sure?" "Of course I'm sure. Besides, with the prestige and emperor of the Dragon Clan in the Great Thousand World, they won't lie. There's no need for that," Little Taudai said. As it spoke, Little Taudai smiled embarrassedly and said, "Although I'm the young master of the Taudai clan, and my bloodline is pure and flawless, but as a Taudai, don't we have to go higher? I also want to become an ancestral Taudai. Now, there's an opportunity in front of me. As long as I obtain the ancestral dragon's inheritance, I may become an ancestral Taudai." Chapter 1097. Jiang Chun had never asked what Long Dade's inheritance was. He only knew that it was an ancestral dragon. Now that he heard Little Taoye's words, Jiang Chun felt that Long Dade was a treasure. With that guy around, wouldn't it be good to create a group of ancestor-level demons? When the time came, a group of ancestor-level demons would follow them to battle. That scene would be so cool. The rarer something is, the more valuable it is, Jiang Chun thought to himself. Originally, he was not interested in the ancestral dragon's inheritance. Now it seemed that he had to get it. This was because Jiang Chun did not want to see a second dragon with the same ability as Long Dade. He wanted to control this unique ability. Not only could he stabilize Long Dade's position in the dragon tribe, but he could also build an ancestor-level army for Jiang Chun. "This is a little difficult. Should I talk to the Fire Dragon Elder?" Jiang Chun muttered. "It should be no problem." Little Taudai said, "Actually, many clans want to build a good relationship with the Jiang clan. It's not only because the Jiang clan is strong, but also because the Jiang clan is unreasonable. Many clans are afraid of angering the Jiang clan, so they want to build a good relationship with them. When the time comes, they don't have to worry about angering the Jiang clan." Jiang Chun nodded. He felt that the Jiang clan was really a weirdo in this world. They had a terrible reputation and could eat anything. The key was that so many clans wanted to curry favor with the Jiang clan. Perhaps this was what true strength was. "Wait for me here. I'll go and ask," Jiang Chun said. Then, he got up and left the room. There was only one fire dragon in the outer courtyard. He casually asked around and found out where the fire dragon was. Soon, when Jiang Chun found the fire dragon, he directly asked about the ancestral dragon's inheritance. The fire dragon's face darkened. He was naturally unhappy. "Your Jiang clan is already so strong. Why are you still thinking about the ancestral dragon's inheritance? If the ancestral dragon's inheritance was really given to you, the Jiang clan's strength would definitely skyrocket. At that time, they might even suppress the dragon tribe. Therefore, in theory, the ancestral dragon's inheritance would never be given to Jiang Chun." For a moment, Long didn't say anything. He frowned and was thinking about how to tactfully refuse. "Elder Fire Dragon, is it inconvenient for you to give it to me?" asked Jiang Chun. "Well, it's not inconvenient," the fire dragon said in a low voice, but it despised Jiang Chun inwardly. "So you know it's not inconvenient? If it's not convenient, you still have the nerve to ask me for it? Moreover, even if I agree to it, those fellows from the inner court wouldn't. Even if the group of inner yard elders agreed to it, the dean probably wouldn't. Moreover, This matter had already been reported to the dragon tribe's ancestral land. Calculating the time, the people sent by the ancestral land should be arriving soon. At that time, the distribution of the ancestral dragon's inheritance would be decided by the people from the ancestral land. Elder Fire Dragon, you know my identity and strength. If the Academy is willing to give me the ancestral dragon's inheritance, I can promise you that the Jiang clan and the dragon tribe will be on good terms in the future. We will never fall out, Jiang Chun said seriously. Hua Long's expression changed when he heard this. He knew that Jiang Chun definitely had the right to make this decision. After all, with the supreme title, his status in the Jiang clan was definitely extraordinary. Even if his status was not high now, once the news of his supreme title spread to the Jiang clan, Jiang Chen's status would probably be second only to the patriarch of the Jiang clan. Thinking of this, the fire dragon nodded and said, I'm just an outer elder. I'll discuss this with the elders in the inner courtyard. Then I'll have to trouble Elder Fire Dragon, Jiang Chen said softly. With that, Jiang Chun turned to leave. But suddenly he thought of something. He entered the Dragon Soaring Academy for the Starfield Teleportation Array. Now, he could use this opportunity to enter the inner courtyard. Elder Fire Dragon, with my strength and identity, can you arrange for me to enter the inner courtyard? Jiang Chen said. As you can see, there aren't many people in the outer courtyard now. That won't do. However, what surprised Jiang Chun was that the fire dragon's attitude was very firm. He directly rejected it. Why? Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. You can even discuss the ancestral dragon's inheritance, but why can't I enter the inner courtyard? On what basis? Cough, cough. Little friend Jiang Chun, you also know that your identity is special. The fire dragon said with a strange expression. Don't you know the reason why the new students of the outer courtyard dropped out? If you enter the inner courtyard, I'm afraid that the group of students in the inner courtyard will also drop out. At that time, my Dragon Soaring Academy will have no more students, so what's the point of it being open? It's time to close the door, the fire dragon said. When Jiang Chun heard this, although he felt that it was very reasonable, but not entering the inner courtyard, then what's the point of staying? Thinking of this, Jiang Chun decided that once he obtained the ancestral dragon's inheritance, he would immediately leave. Although this dragon-carrying world is remote, the Starfield Teleportation Array is not exclusive to your Dragon Soaring Academy. At that time, he would find a force to sneak in, and he would be able to enter the Starfield Teleportation Array. Then I won't make things difficult for Elder Fire Dragon. Jiang Chun whispered and left. As soon as he came out of the Fire Dragon's residence, Jiang Chun felt a few pairs of eyes staring at him. That feeling was as if he was the prey that was being targeted by the hunter. At this moment, Jiang Chun raised his guard. His gaze swept across the surroundings, and then a cold glint flashed across his eyes. At the intersection between the inner courtyard and the outer courtyard, in front of the stone door, two demon youths were staring at him. These two people had extremely strong auras, and their cultivation had reached the level of an upper-level chief god. Moreover, when they looked at Jiang Chun, the murderous intent in their eyes was not concealed at all. This made Jiang Chun somewhat depressed. He secretly wondered what race these two youths were from. They even dared to show murderous intent when facing the Jiang clan? In that case, since they dared to show murderous intent, the two demon youths' races would naturally not be low. Why are the two of you looking at me? Can't you restrain the murderous intent in your eyes a little? Jiang Chun said softly. He did not retreat, but instead came to the stone door. At this moment, the three of them were separated by a stone door. Their eyes met, and the atmosphere instantly became oppressive. Jiang clan? The world fears the Jiang clan, but our clan is not afraid of you, said one of them. This person had a head of white hair and clear eyes. As he spoke, wisps of white flames even emitted from his body. Jiang Chun was stunned for a moment. Looking at the other party, he suddenly thought of the Heavenly Phoenix clan. The Heavenly Phoenix clan seemed to be like this too, right? However, since when did the Heavenly Phoenix clan have such guts? You're from the Heavenly Phoenix clan? Where did the Heavenly Phoenix clan get the guts to challenge the Jiang clan? Jiang Chen raised his eyebrows and said contemptuously, "Even if your patriarch were here, he wouldn't dare to speak to me like this. You're the one from the Heavenly Phoenix clan? Your whole family is from the Heavenly Phoenix clan?" Unexpectedly, the youth became agitated at once. He glared at Jiang Chen and said, "Look carefully. I'm from the White Phoenix clan." Chapter 1098. There were hundreds of races in the Demon Clan. If one did not transform into his original form, it was sometimes difficult to see what race the other party was from. Just like now, if the other party did not say anything, Jiang Chun would really think that the other party was a heavenly phoenix. Back then, when the people of the Great Thousand World descended to the Six Realms, Jiang Chun had met two heavenly phoenixes. To be honest, the Heavenly Phoenix clan was indeed quite strong. However, compared to Jiang Chun, the Heavenly Phoenix clan seemed weak. At this moment, when Jiang Chun heard that the other party was from the White Phoenix clan, he could not help but be stunned. After all, in the eyes of many people, the Phoenix clan naturally could not be compared to the Phoenix clan. However, from the other party's tone, the White Phoenix clan seemed to be far above the Heavenly Phoenix clan. The Heavenly Phoenix clan is just a branch of the Phoenix clan. Our bloodline is not pure enough and can't be considered a real phoenix. Therefore, we give ourselves the title of Heavenly Phoenix. The young man's face was full of contempt, and then a wisp of arrogance flashed in his eyes. He said, "The White Phoenix clan is different from the Heavenly Phoenix clan. Our bloodline is pure, and we are the real Phoenix clan." "Young man, the ancestor of the Phoenix clan is the Nine-Colored Phoenix, and the White Phoenix clan is the royal family of the Phoenix clan. Compared to your Jiang clan, our Phoenix clan is not inferior," the other young man said. When Jiang Chen heard this, he did not know what to say. After all, he had just come to the Great Thousand World and was not clear about the many races of the Demon Clan. Moreover, even if the White Phoenix clan is very powerful, so what? Jiang Chen just wanted to ask, "Why are the two of you showing killing intent to me? Others are afraid of your Jiang clan, but our White Phoenix clan is not." One of the young men raised his eyebrows, and there was a trace of contempt in his eyes. He said, "Don't think that just because you are from the Jiang clan, you can do whatever you want in the Dragon Soaring Academy." "Do whatever I want?" Jiang Chen blinked and asked, "How am I doing whatever I want?" After he finished speaking, Jiang Chen's expression abruptly turned icy cold without waiting for the other party to speak. He narrowed his eyes and said, "Even if I do as I please, what can you do?" As soon as these words were spoken, the killing intent in the eyes of the two youths from the White Phoenix clan skyrocketed. "My White Luan clan's ancestor, the Nine-Colored Luan bird, once killed your Jiang clan's ancestor," one of them proudly said. "The Jiang clan in the eyes of the world that shouldn't be provoked? So what? Your ancestor was once defeated by my ancestor." To be honest, Jiang Chun didn't feel anything when he heard that. After all, he wasn't from the Jiang clan. So what if the patriarch of the Jiang clan was killed by the Nine-Colored Luan? But now that he had taken on this identity, Jiang Chun had to make a statement. Otherwise, it would be too easy to be exposed. "I don't care about the matters between the ancestors, but for the matters of this generation, I think I should be able to say a few words," Jiang Chun said coldly. After he finished speaking, Jiang Chun pointed at the stone door and said, "Look at the killing intent in your eyes. So what? You want to kill me? If you really want to kill me, you can walk out of this stone door and come to the outer court. I can exchange blows with the two of you." "You? Are you worthy? You're just a title god. We're main gods. Are you worthy of us killing you?" At this moment, Jiang Chun was a little confused. Previously, when Jiang Chun broke through, he was blessed by the heavens and obtained the title of supremacy. Everyone in the Dragon Soaring Academy knew this. And these two White Luans, did they think that a god with the title of supremacy couldn't defeat two main gods? However, these two White Luans were indeed not in the Dragon Soaring Academy before. They had just returned from their training and only knew that Jiang Chun was from the Jiang clan. As for Jiang Chen's supremacy title, No one had told them about it until now. The Jiang clan is a kind of monster. How many lives did they devour in the past? Many of my clan also died in the hands of the Jiang clan. Today, if you dare to have a life and death battle, I can come out and destroy you, you brats. Hearing this, Jiang Chen understood why these two people wanted to kill him so much. It seemed that when the Jiang clan rebelled, they killed many of the White Yuan clan. Life and death battle? Looks like you want me to die? Jiang Chen joked. As the saying goes, I have no intention to kill, but others have the intention to kill me. After he finished speaking, Jiang Chen turned around and pointed at the arena in the outer court, saying, I'll wait for you there. Life and death battle. Ha! You said it yourself. Sign the life and death battle contract. When you die, the Jiang clan can't blame it on us. These two White Yuan youths were extremely excited. In their eyes, if Jiang Chen dared to agree, he would definitely die. After all, the difference in cultivation between them was quite big, and these two youths were very confident in their own strength. They were one major realm higher than Jiang Chen, so how could they not kill Jiang Chen? After a dozen breaths, Jiang Chen came to the arena in the outer court. He looked at the two youths from the White Yuan clan below the arena and said, Are you coming one by one, or are you coming together? Before these two youths could speak, Jiang Chen waved his hand and said, Forget it, you can come together. Don't waste my time. Let's sign the life and death battle contract first. One of the youths raised his eyebrows, seemingly a little afraid. After all, the Jiang clan was famous for being unreasonable. If Jiang Chen was really killed by them today, without a contract and evidence, the Jiang clan would never let it go. Hearing that, Jiang Chen nodded immediately. He didn't want to cause more trouble. Signing the life and death contract would save him a lot of trouble, even if he killed these two White Yuan youths. Yo, why is the outer court so lively today? Is someone fighting? Not long after, some people noticed the commotion here. Some disciples of the inner court stood at the stone gate and looked over. When they saw the two youths from the White Yuan clan signing the life and death battle contract with Jiang Chen, many of them became anxious instantly. Among them, some people who were on good terms with the White Yuan clan immediately said in a hurried voice, Don't. He's from the Jiang clan. Of course we know he's from the Jiang clan, but so what? He's just a titled deity, signing the life and death battle contract today. Even if he dies, the Jiang clan can't blame us. Hearing that, a group of disciples in the inner court had strange expressions on their faces. They all knew that these two youths from the White Yuan clan were really powerful. But so what? They don't have a heaven-level title. Someone reminded them in a loud voice. However, before he finished speaking, one of the White Yuan's eyes flashed with contempt. He said, They don't even have a heaven-level title? Ha! Such a Jiang clan, I can easily suppress them with a raise of my hand. No! Listen to what I have to say. They don't have a heaven-level title, but they have a supreme title. Someone was so anxious that his face turned red. However, as soon as he finished speaking, he saw that Jiang Chen had signed the life and death battle contract with the two youths. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.